Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and we are live here for the 2022 NFL trade deadline. Jeremy Chuggs and I are going to talk to you guys about all of the big-time deals that have gone down today. We'll even talk about some that happened yesterday between Roquan Smith, later Chase Claypool, later TJ Hawkinson have all been traded today. The thing that all of us want to know, are the Raiders going to make a deal today? Let me know down in the comments section. Will the Raiders make a trade? Yes or no? We'll give some shout-outs here. We'll also break down some stories, some debates about Derek Carr, Josh McDaniels. We're going to look at all of that stuff today. And because there has been so much drama around those two names, that's going to be a heavy part of the show if the Raiders don't make any deals. I'm also going to do Derek Carr replacements. Before y'all freak the hell out, it's Derek Carr replacements for 2023 after the season if the Raiders don't make the playoffs. So please hold your fire. We got 500 people watching right now. I got Tropical Remy, Raider B-Dog, Mark, Juan Hernandez, all spamming their wife for yes. Actually, Mark says no deals are going to get done. Phil says yes, but they're going to be sellers. Cut McDaniels from Javier. Our dog again, Rob Fravor, says no. Robert, I hate this team from Robert. All right, hey, that's on you, bro. Matthew DeLong, no. Raider Rob 1969, no. Abel, Mr. Shelby are spamming their Y's for yes. Everyone, I want you to welcome in Jeremy Chuggs, Spam Chuggs down in the comments. And a lot of the times when we do these live shows, we want to be able to interact with y'all. So you can already start to use hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat. Every single super chat we get, we throw up here on screen. We answer your questions, and on live shows like this, if you've watched Jeremy and I's NFL draft coverage, free agency, a lot of powers in y'all's hands for the next 2 hours, because we're just going to be up here bullshitting with y'all, talking about what happens around the NFL. So if you want to party, we can party. If you want to talk Raiders, we can also obviously do all that. All we ask is this.
Let's get crazy.
I'm ready to always get crazy, man. If you want the Raiders to make a deal today, smash that like button. 900 people watching. Appreciate everyone. What up, Kevin? What up, Isaac Hernandez? R. Vega. Oh, man. Trade Carr. That's not going to happen. He's got a no-trade clause, homie. All right, so what about this? Will the Raiders be buyers or sellers? Or if you think this whole thing is just BS, type BS. Maybe they're both. Because to me, the Raiders kind of have been BS. I can make an argument that they should be buyers. When you have a brand new head coach in Josh McDaniels, I can't understand how you shouldn't try to buy to win games. However, most 2-5 football teams with a new head coach
who just lost 24-0,
who just got whooped in New Orleans could sell. But look at the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears just traded away Roquan. They traded away Robert Quinn. And then they bought Chase Claypool today. So there is a little bit of mixing and matching that can happen. But I want to know from the 1,000 people watching. Tyler S. just said BS. Kenneth Phelps, BS. Buyers from Andy Gueva. Rico, that's never going to happen. El Raider 93, BS. Juan Hernandez, buy. Buy, let's go from Easy. Tyler S. said, Chuggs. Max Kaufman, both. Matthew DeLong, seller. Savage Behavior, seller. Ron Justice, seller. Mr. Silva, a lot of sellers.
BS, is that an equal buy-sell? Like, what are we selling some pieces and buying some pieces? Or
buy low, sell high. I am curious.
If that's the theory that y'all are saying, buy low, sell high, that means you're selling Waller and Jacobs. Because those are the two highest graded players on the Raiders right now.
I mean, they're the players that you'd get the most for. However, I do think trading Waller right now, obviously, you would be selling low. But when you see the amount of reports out there that Buffalo has been making a lot of calls about a bunch of different running backs, Buffalo's the team that scares me.
What did you tell me about the Lions earlier today?
What, the Lions today? With Hawkinson?
No.
Oh, one of my buddies told me that he was told that the Lions really like Darren Waller. That was like 3 days ago. And then the Lions just traded away TJ Hawkinson. So when I saw that deal go down, I was like, oh, shit. Could you even imagine? Now, maybe the Lions go after somebody like a Mike Gesicki. That could also be a possibility. But what do you think, y'all?
What do you got? I have some breaking news, guys.
Oh, man.
I know you know him as Mitchell Renz 365. I know you know him by Mitchell Renz.
Yep.
but we actually have a name change here on the Raiders Report. He is now, and not even shitting you, Lord Mitchell Renz.
I am now referred to as Lord Mitchell Renz. Now, guys.
Oh!
Isaac Hernandez, real one for life. At least I'm never disappointed every Sunday watching y'all's watch party.
Bang! I'll pull it up.
Isaac Hernandez.
I'll pull it up in just a second.
We will pull it up in just a second, but here's the thing, y'all. We got a brand new sponsor, and this is probably one of the strangest sponsorships I've ever had, but we always say Raider Nation is family, and we can literally build a plot of land together. So save an extra 10% right now. Become a Lord like me. EstablishedTitles.com/chat. What I'm about to read to you is literally going to blow your mind, so please listen up. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland. And I know, some of you are like, I don't even live in Scotland. Listen up, though. While helping global restoration efforts, it's a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords, ladies in English. Title packages give you at least 1 square foot, or all the way up to 10, of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and with global charities, 1 tree planted and trees for the future to support global restoration efforts. You can officially include the title Lord or Lady on your crest. You can do it on a plane ticket, your dating profiles. I think it makes a really crazy last-minute gift. And the first 200 people purchase a title pack using the link that y'all see down there below, which is EstablishedTitles.com/chat. We're going to put you right next to me. I want to build our own little Raider Nation with this plot of land here. So not only can you literally be referred to as Lord Chugs, Lord Renz 365, Lord Isaac Hernandez, Lord David Zahn, Lord Raider Ron, Lord Daniel Jimenez, Lord Patrick B, Savannah Jean. We can have a lot of fun with this. It's also going to go towards a good effort. It's going to go towards a good cause. So next 200 people, they're going to be part of the Raiders Report plot. I booked off 200 of these things. I want to fill these bad boys up. You can also do a single package. You can do a couple packages as well. You can even get one for your animal. Don't tell Alex this. Lord Chuck is right around the corner. So really, really cool sponsorship opportunity. It is down there in the comments section right now. I know. It's funky. It's weird. But it's like legit. You could literally have Lord Renz on a credit card, on your driver's license, on a plane ticket. It's kind of crazy, man. Let's go to Isaac Hernandez. Real one for life. At least I'm never disappointed every Sunday watching y'all's watch party. You know what?
Bang!
Bang! Isaac Hernandez. Sorry, I was like, what? We just got another. So, Isaac, I don't know if you know this. Well, you do if you watch the show. Every $100 super chat that we get, you get added to the Boot Hall of Fame. For those of you that watch a lot of our shows here, once we get up to 1,000 in supers, Jeremy or I, we knock down a boot. So what I want you guys to do right now. If you want a shout out here on the Raiders Report, Isaac put RO4L. If you want a shout out here on the Raiders Report, spam RO4L right now in the chat.
Patrick B said he just got his boot today.
Oh, Patrick, I'll make you a deal. If we get to the boot, either you or Savannah Jean call me on Instagram, and we're going to knock down a boot together. Also, I should mention, Isaac, you are the very, very first one to have a sticker in November. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome if you ask me. All right, y'all, we got 1,200 people watching the Raiders Report. Isaac, that's you, bro. Right there, Isaac Hernandez, and we will auction off the boot like we did earlier in the week. The other boot went to Trivan. I sent it to Trivan. Isaac, cheers to you, bro. 1,150 people are tuned in to our live NFL trade coverage. We're going to be hanging out here. Jeremy, you were supposed to give some shout-outs. I'll do it. Juan Hernandez, Take Flight Task, Raider Murta, Raider Baby Maker, Kenneth Wood, Raider Rob 1969.
Hector Vargas.
Keep going.
Take Flight Task, King Sanchez, Anthony McGregor, Edgar, Scum, Jesse, Mike, Rob, Corey, Patrick B, Mike, Scrum, Dasani, Jeremy. Oh, nice name. Julian, L Television, Sergio, Javier, Francisco, Arvega, Wham, David, DJ Wood, Stewart, We Out Here Entertainment, Perplexing Pegasus, J.A.X., Jaime Alvarado, Kevin, Lil Chains, Tony Rodriguez, Bella Elazar, Roger Ren Valkenburg.
Oh, man, I just saw a report come across here that the two teams apparently eyeing Josh Jacobs are the Los Angeles Rams and the Buffalo Bills.
Yikes.
I'm just saying, y'all, I don't want it to happen, but those two teams apparently have offered a lot in the past for Christian McCaffrey. Apparently the Rams also were willing to give up 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns, and that doesn't look like it's going to happen. If you can get a first-round pick for Jacobs, it's something that
Mitch,
the Raiders are probably going to entertain.
You want to play a game?
Oh, man, what's the game?
Who won the trade?
All right, let's play it. So this is the first trade, or one of the very first trades that went down today. Chase Claypool went to the Chicago Bears. Pittsburgh Steelers get a 2023 second-round pick.
Type B for the Bears, type S for the Steelers. Who do you think won this trade?
I mean, personally, it really comes down. I'm going to say both teams did, because Chase Claypool, to me, is a really good fit with Justin Fields in that offense. Also, they've been able to run the football so well when you have that deep threat. That adds to it a little bit. For Pittsburgh, if George Pickens pans out, that's the word I'm looking for, pans out,
that's it.
Then that's a win, because you're able to get a second-round pick for a player that you took in the second round. Imagine buying a car 2 years later, you sell the car for the exact same value. That's a win for both sides. We will see what ends up going down. Isaiah says the Bears. Corey Epple says the Bears.
Josh Jacobs for Jalen Ramsey straight up?
I mean, that's not going to happen. I would entertain it. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I would sit up here and absolutely entertain that trade offer. You have to. Jalen Ramsey hasn't been amazing, but he is still one of the best cornerbacks in the National Football League. A trade that happened about a week ago, the Jets, they got James Robinson, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, the silver and black, they played this week, got a 6th-round conditional pick in 2023. Same question.
Oh, wait.
You got to type J for Jacksonville or N for New York Jets.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Type J for the Jets or type J for the Jags. Or Jack or NYJ. Either one, totally up for grabs. And then after this, Jeremy.
You can type Jag or Jet.
We will get to some super chats that come in from Sheb Silver Raider, Aaron Bernabe, and then Anthony Morales. Those are the next super chats we got to get to. Isaac Hernandez, he's ready to party. You know what, Isaac? I told Jeremy today I didn't really plan on drinking. For a $100 super chat, I'm going to just take a shot. I'll take one shot, and I think that's going to be it for today. I didn't really plan on drinking too much. I woke up early. I not only took Chuck for a walk, I also went for a jog. And on big-time days like this, I don't sleep well because I'm so worried I'm going to miss something. So I wake up at 3, I wake up at 4, I wake up at 5. I just don't sleep well. I'm like, F it. I'm getting up. Chuck and I, we're going to go hang out. All right, let's go to the next super chat coming in here from Chev Silver Raider. I would trade Josh McDaniels for a pack of cigs. I don't even smoke. I mean, unfortunately, I don't see them moving on from Josh McDaniels. We'll talk about that a little bit. I mean, I am allowed to say fire McDaniels. I don't want McDaniels. I never wanted McDaniels. However, we have always said on this show, I believe you're going to get 3 years of Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels. When you look at a lot of the contracts that have rolled in, to me, that's essentially what happens. What?
Only Dan's.
Only Dan's. What did he say?
Imagine going live on the Raiders Report and not planning on drinking.
Dude, I'm telling you, there are some shows where I literally am like, all right, I'm not going to drink today. I'm not going to drink today unless the nation wants to party.
Also,
if the nation's ready to party, I'm always ready to go. What do you got for me?
We're losing to our main channel right now.
What does that mean? We're losing.
In super chats.
What are they at?
375.
Oh, they're at 375. We'll catch them. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about the nation. The nation's going to catch them. Here's the thing, though. Again, you're probably stuck with McDaniels for the next 3 years, no matter what. Mark Davis also said that he ain't going anywhere. Let's go to Aaron. What I missed, Mitch and Chugs. Raiders! All you missed is right now it is the NFL trade deadline.
Biggest trades today.
We're
T.J. Hawkinson to the Vikings.
Yep.
Chase Claypool to the Bears.
Yep. I mean, so far those are the top 2 trades. And another trade that I do anticipate to happen today is Brandon Cooks Brandon Cooks is not at Texans practice. That's kind of a weird thing. He's on Twitter right now liking tweets about him being linked to other teams, about him being traded. So definitely something. Hang on a second. The Pittsburgh Steelers are trading for William Jackson, the Washington Commanders cornerback. That one just went down.
Whoa!
Steelers just made a trade for William Jackson III, somebody who I wanted the Raiders to try to get. Remember, there was a report that went out earlier today that said if the Commanders are unable to trade Jackson, they are just going to release him. So I'm going to be very curious on how much of his contract the Steelers end up taking on. But, I mean, I'd almost be curious if they flip that. Oh! Patrick Beam! I will be curious, though, if they take that second-round pick that they just got for Chase Claypool and if they use it.
I don't think they're going to give a second for William Jackson.
Well, more or less?
Less.
I think it's going to be less as well, but hey, I've seen crazier things, man. Let's go to Anthony Morales, Renfro, Waller, Miller, biggest disappointments. McDaniels needs to coach the player ability and simplify the offense. Renfro has been a disappointment. Waller has been a disappointment. I'm going to just sit up here and say that the player I am by far the most disappointed in on that offensive side of the football is Derek Carr. They put a lot of talent around him, and he has not done well. I'm not saying that it's all on Derek's fault. The offensive line is struggling in passing situations. Josh McDaniels is running a first-grade offense. Isaac Hernandez! Bang! Oh, man, I think we're getting ready to party, nation. I think we're getting ready to party, but let me just say this.
You got 1 minute.
What?
Gotta overtake Maine, and I'll do a Murbanka.
Oh, man. All right, so our COO, Brett Scott, just said if we pass
I just don't think you guys are good enough. I'll give you two.
Wait, is that Lord Scott or no?
Lord Scott,
I am a Lord.
Lord Scott just said, you know what, we're going to play shot clock. Every $10 super chat that comes in for the next 2 minutes, I'm going to do a shot for it. And if we pass Maine, so we're about 130 away, then our COO is going to come in here and do a beer bong. I don't know about y'all. I'm ready to get this thing going. Back to my Derek Carr conversation, though. In terms of DC has a lot around him. But one thing that McDaniels needs to start doing a better job of, he is trying to force players into his system. Unlike what I think good head coaches do, is that they try to put their system around their talented players.
Shout out Mike Ref.
What'd
He's
he
already
do?
a Lord.
He's already a Lord.
Mike Ref. All hail Lord Ref.
All
hail Lord Ref.
All hail Lord Hernandez. Isaac Hernandez, so far today's MVP.
MVL.
MVL, the most valuable Lord. Excuse me. Isaac Hernandez absolutely killing it today so far, early on. Let's go to the next super chat rolling in here. It's from John Mercedes-Benz. I don't know why Mark Davis has a rebuild mentality. Josh McDaniels, 2 to 3 years to figure it out. We were a playoff caliber team. I'm with you, man. Isaac Hernandez said, cheers, fam. All right.
Lord Hernandez back at it.
He's killing it today, man.
If you're just now joining us and you're really confused about all the Lord talk,
yes,
you can become a Lord today by going to establishedtitles.com/chat. 10% off you becoming a Lord or a lady and getting a plot of land right next to Mitchell Renz.
And how about this? Also, for the next, I think it's today or there's a special offer. It's up to 80% off.
Black Friday.
It's like a Black Friday sale they're doing. So you click that link, you get like an 80% discount.
I'll put it back in there for everybody.
It's kind of crazy. I'm not going to lie. So, anyway, though, I'm with you, John. Rebuilding after making the playoffs doesn't make sense to me. Do I think that the Raiders overachieved last season in those final 4 games? Yes, I do. But at the same time, we all thought that this Raiders team got a lot better in the offseason, right? We know that. We know that they got better in the offseason. So to me, it was no excuse to not make the playoffs. So to sit up here and do a rebuild, it just doesn't make sense to me, bro. Let's go to the next super chat flowing in here.
From Patrick B.
I hope today is like the day we traded for Adams. We need to be in a win-now team today.
That would be amazing.
Well, I don't know how many Devontae Adams grow on trees, but you know what? If the Raiders were able to pull off a major big-time deal, I'm here. You guys know I usually go live at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Jeremy and I were live about 4 hours earlier. We are planning on doing this the entire time. This is where we're going to be. Answering your questions. We have 3 shows already ready to go after the trade deadline, so hopefully y'all are ready to sit tight, hang out with Chugs and I for the next 4 hours.
Our bosses were just like, hey, y'all just want to go live after the trade deadline, right after it's over, and talk about everything? We said, no. We want the drama. We want to be breaking down the trades as it happens with Raider Nation because it's more fun that way.
Absolutely. Patrick, cheers to you, my brother. Much love. I was just talking to Savannah. Savannah doesn't know what jersey to do for Abby. If you can help her pick it out.
She requested a Foster Moreau jersey.
That's true. Abby said that if she get a Foster from LSU, though I don't know how much longer Foster's going to be around. He's going to be a free agent next year.
Yikes.
Maybe we could just get her Savannah said 98 jersey. Maybe we can just tack on the back I don't know, LSU real one or something like that. We'll figure it out. Let's go to Isaac freaking Hernandez. They won't beat us. #1 YouTube channel, LFG.
Do I go get some drinks?
I think it's time to go get some drinks, Jeremy.
Trulies?
That's up to you. I truly want mine.
Okay.
I'll take a shot, though, for Mr. Isaac Hernandez on here. Also, y'all, if you haven't already hit that like button, please make sure that you do so. The more and more likes we get, the more and more that this show gets shared to more people. And I don't know about you, the more people we can get here at this party, I think it's always a good time. Now, I made a deal to myself that I wouldn't get too drunk today. I got to meet up with Alex's mom later today. We're going to have to do a few little odds and ends. Her birthday's coming up. So I told myself, all right, I'm not going to get too crazy. However, I'm going to be okay for the next 4 hours. Had a big lunch, anticipation of what the NFL trade deadline could be. So, Isaac, cheers to you, bro. I just try to put the cap in the shot glass. Yeah, I got a shot glass. What do we got? Mango? We'll do it. Sorry, Brett. Sorry, Brett. Isaac, cheers to you, bro. Remember, guys, you can use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. Get those questions, comments on the show right now. Hey, man, I'm good with that. Every 500 likes, we could spin it. How about this? We could even do some. Every time we get to 250 likes, Jeremy and I are going to spin the wheel. So we already crossed it once. So, Chugs, when you get back up on screen, you can spin that wheel for me. I would appreciate it. Let's spin it one time for the nation. Remember, y'all, we are family. If you see Jeremy and I know some of y'all are at your jobs, go get a soda.
Ooh.
Dice game for Mitch. I'll just take 6 because I left the dice out there. If it lands on dice game, I'm taking 6 drinks. That's on me. Let's go to the next Super Chat up here on
Also,
Raider. What do we got?
From Isaac Hernandez.
Also from Isaac Hernandez. Cheers, fam. Real one for life. So, Jeremy, that's one for you, one for me. Also, this is according to Tom Pelissero. The Steelers and Commanders are expected to swap late-round future picks in the trade for William Jackson.
See, it couldn't have been that much. He's been playing bad, and
well, he's a bad scheme fit. He's going to fit well in Pittsburgh. Mark my words, he's going to fit well in Pittsburgh.
I think he'll be much better there.
No doubt about it. I need that. You want to roll it? You want to roll it for the nation? All right, guys. Abby's going to come on here, roll the dice.
Don't seem too excited, Abby.
Everyone, shout out to Abby.
What am I rolling for?
So whatever it lands on is how many drinks we owe. Not shots, just drinks.
How much for an Abby boot?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, literally.
We are lords now, correct.
Oh, stop.
We are lords now.
Literally. Oh, Lord.
8.
8. All right. Everyone, if you guys want to shout out, Abby, I'll make you a deal. You want to give some shout outs to some peeps? I'm going to take 8 drinks here. There you go. Hey.
You people.
Hey, if you guys want to see an Abby boot, we got to get there.
I think
Abby boot.
At
It's
least
Tuesday, people.
At least
It's
like a
Tuesday.
$300 super chat.
Tropical. I mean.
Like a $300 super chat,
What's up,
Abby?
James Moore? 300? 300.
For an Abby boot?
Ooh. Okay, deal. Whatever. It's Tuesday. Let's party.
Taco!
Let's party. The trains are rolling. Let's party.
It's Tuesday. 5 seconds.
It is Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, we can do it.
Going up on a Tuesday. Yeah, 300 and I'll do it.
All right. Good luck. I'll see you in a little bit. Everyone, shout out to Abby for popping on the show.
Go fill up the boot.
All right, we got 1,600 people watching the show right now. Isaac, so far today's MVP. Let's go to Tyler S. What up, Tyler? We need new car insurance and Sean Payton. I obviously, hang on a second. Big time trade just went down. The Denver Broncos are trading away Bradley Chubb to the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, dang!
Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins.
Willie Fins!
Which includes a 2023 first-round pick that Miami acquired from the 49ers. Big deal just went down. Bradley Chubb.
Woo, 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 woo. Trade alert, trade alert.
Chubb to Miami. That's a big one, man. Wow. I don't know if we're going to get much bigger of a deal than that. It was according to reports that the Broncos, were looking for at least 2 first-round picks. They end up getting 1. Also, Trent Brown just tweeted next chapter. So I am curious if Trent Brown gets traded here, which makes me a little bit worried because I don't want Trent Brown. Here's the deal.
It's not ready.
It's not even close.
There we go.
And we will get there. So the Dolphins, they receive Bradley Chubb from the Denver Broncos. The Broncos get a 2023 first-round pick and more TBD.
Who won the trade right now, D or B?
Let
Dolphins
us know.
or Broncos? Who won the trade? Let us know.
I mean,
dude, he wasn't on the top of your list, but you were keen on McDaniel, not Josh.
Well, I like Mike McDaniel. I thought he was a really smart overall coach.
Let's see.
I'll say, to me, this is a win for both sides. And the reason why I'm going to make the argument for both sides here is Miami. You got to figure out a way to take down Josh Allen. Yes, they already beat the Buffalo Bills. Chubb's going to help you do that. For Denver, though, you gave away a lot of draft capital. Yeah, a lot of it. You gave it away. Also, here's the official update here. Miami, wow, there's actually a running back involved in this too. So Denver, they traded away Bradley Chubb in a 5th.
Myles Gaskin?
And Miami traded away a 1st, a 4th in 2024, and Chase Edmonds.
Oh, he hasn't been getting much run with the Dolphins. Raheem Mostert's been their lead back this year.
But for Denver, they lost Javonte Williams for the season, and now you get a brand new player. Pretty interesting stuff. So Schefter said a 2025 5th.
As well? Oh, my God.
We'll see. So here's the updated.
Here we go. It is overwhelming that the Dolphins won in our chat.
Well, if you're talking about for this year, yes, it's a clear win for the Dolphins this year. But my mindset, and I think part of the Broncos' mindset has to be is as bad as what Russell Wilson has looked, you gave up all that draft capital for him, and now you're able to get a first-round pick back. To me, that has to be something pretty interesting side. It's a good deal for Miami this year. It's a good deal for the Broncos next offseason. I also think that this means that they are sellers. They're trying to get the hell. I think they realize that, hey, we're not going to win anything this year. So remember, y'all, we are live here on the Raiders Report.
All right, here we go. And here's that trade that you were talking about earlier before the Bradley Chubb trade.
Steelers and Commanders trade.
Who won this trade? Steelers or Commanders? I think it's
Pittsburgh.
Obviously Steelers.
It's Pittsburgh. I will be curious on how much of the contract Pittsburgh's going to decide to eat here, but you know what? We'll see. We will see. I'm going to put my money in here for Pittsburgh. What do you got?
Production.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I haven't seen it.
Sam, can anybody come to a beer bong? Brett, no.
All right, y'all, but friendly reminder, this is the Raiders Report, and I know this, man. I know we're talking about a lot of other NFL teams, and we are live here for the NFL trade deadline. Jeremy and I just love hanging out with the nation any chance that we get. We try to do it. We try to hang out with y'all, break it all down. I'm hoping that there is a deal that does get done at some point today for the silver and black, and if it does happen, y'all are going to be able to see my live reaction, Jeremy's live reaction. Would really, really, really hope that something happens. Sorry,
I thought you were reading.
I just saw Brandon Cook's name pop up, and I was like, oh, shit, and nothing quite happened yet. All right, here's the other trade that realistically got the whole trade deadline thing started. Also, y'all, we are 100 likes away from spinning the wheel. Every single 20 or 250 likes we get, Jeremy and I spin the wheel. If you don't know what the wheel is,
we're 100 likes away?
It's a bunch of just ridiculous games for Jeremy and I to just try to have a good time as much as humanly possible. So, if you haven't already, hit that like button for the Lions. They get a second and third round pick. Minnesota gets TJ Hawkinson, a fourth rounder in 2023, and then a conditional fourth round pick. This one to me was an easy, and I mean easy win for Minnesota. It was. I actually can't believe that they even did this.
I think this is a clear sign the Lions are saying we're done with this year, and I think it's also a clear sign Dan Campbell might be out at the end of the year.
Oh, man, I like Dan Campbell.
If you're giving away one of your top offensive weapons in TJ Hawkinson in the middle of the season, that means you're kind of – and you're not even getting anything back. You're getting a second and a third round pick going into –
See, not only is this a bad trade overall, but it's also a bad trade because it's in your division for Detroit. So, like, that's one that I just don't understand.
Jerry West, good point, though. W if you have Amon-Ra St. Brown on your fantasy team.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right there. He's going to get a lot more targets.
And then this trade happened at the end of yesterday.
Correct. So the Bears, they get a second and fifth round pick, and then A.J. Klein. The Baltimore Ravens get Roquan Smith. What?
I'm just remembering our COO, Brett, before the craziness, he goes, guys,
oh, yeah.
It's the NFL trade deadline. I know not a lot's going to happen today.
Yep. It's not like the NBA or MLB. Egg on your face, Brett. Egg on your face. Yeah, I agree. I think this is a deal where both sides win. Again, I think the Bears win long term, though I know a lot of people are going to look at it and be like, oh, Roquan Smith leads the NFL with, 83 tackles or whatever. Here's the thing, though. According to PFF, he's been actually one of the worst linebackers in the NFL. He's got a 50 overall grade. Tackles are good. He's been bad in coverage, though. Roquan Smith has not been very good in coverage this season, and for that, I don't know if I would have given up that much for him. I have confidence in Baltimore, who always seems to do a very good job with their linebacker core, so for that reason, Roquan there does make sense. We'll see, though. What do you got?
This is just great. This is just great.
I'll tell you what, the Chat Sports Studios right now are absolute mayhem. Also, we are 10 likes away, Jeremy, from spinning that wheel.
Let's get into some more super chats because I kind of cut it off.
All right, let's go to it. If you guys want to get on the screen right now, send in those supers. Anything you want, ask away. Patrick B, can we trade Chandler Jones for Bosa? His contract in San Francisco will not happen. Unfortunately, the answer to that is no. I don't think that San Francisco would trade away Bosa, and if this is going to hurt y'all's feelings, the 49ers wouldn't trade Nick Bosa for Max Crosby. It's not because they don't value Crosby. It's because that's how much they value Nick Bosa. So Chandler Jones has not played well this season whatsoever. For that, you're not going to get much for him. And he's a McDaniels, Patrick Graham guy. He's not going anywhere. Let's go to John Mendoka. What up, John? I don't think that the Raiders will get rid of Carr. There's no way that Adams comes to play one season. If Carr gone, he's going to want out. Here's the issue, though. When you look at Devontae Adams' contract, which is one thing that I don't think nearly enough people are bringing up here, if Adams wants out, he doesn't make his money. So I get it. Adams signed a 5-year, $140 million deal. When you look at that contract, $80 million is in the final 2 years. $80 million in that final 2 years. So if you don't play well in your first 3, yeah, $22.5 million is a lot of money for anybody in the world. I don't care what you say. But the way Adams' contract is structured is that first 3 years, he's making $22.5. The final 2 years of that deal, he's making $40 million a year. So if he actually wants to make that $40 million a year, he needs to play. And sure, maybe he decides to go elsewhere. I just don't actually see that being the case. I know Devontae Adams is frustrated. And here's the thing. I get that Carr and Adams are buddies. If you're Devontae, you've seen the way that Carr's played. If you want to make that extra $40 million a year at the end of that contract, you got to want more too. Because if you're the Raiders, yes, Devontae has to play well, but you also got to win. If you're not winning football games, I'm not paying a wide receiver $40 million a year. Sorry. Not going to do it. We'll see what ends up happening, but I hate the narrative, if Derek Carr leaves, Devontae wants out. If he wants out, he's going to be out millions, and I'm talking millions upon millions of dollars. And if you're the Raiders, you better get 2 first-round picks for Adams. Nothing less than that. That's what I would want for him. So, John, I appreciate your super chat. We got 2,000 people watching. Jeremy, if you could, spin that wheel, and you were about to say something.
Well, I was going to say, and if you're Devontae Adams, how can you be happy with how Carr's playing right now anyways?
You can't be. There's no way. I'm not saying it's all on DC, but DC has clearly not been a good fit in McDaniels' system.
Oh, no.
All right, there's the first one. If we erase all 5 of those X's, Jeremy owes a free boot on the house. Boots is when the show can get wild here.
I actually do have some bad news for you.
Oh, man. What's the bad news?
We're losing.
We're losing.
To everyone.
To everyone. All right.
I'm just saying.
Where are we at?
Don't shoot the messenger, but.
Let's see it. Well, here's the thing. Bears is live. They've had a few big trades. Dolphins is live. They've had a few big trades. Chat Sports Maine live. They've had a few big trades. We'll catch them. So this is where our super chat battle is right now. Raiders at 340. Bears at 610. Chat Sports is at 400.
Oh, Raiders at 360 now.
Yeah, in due time, Jeremy. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
We said $300 super chat, automatic Abby boot.
That would be insane. I'm not going to lie.
That would catch us up to Bears right now. All I'm saying, Ernie, you're saying you want Abby. The only way she's coming back is for a boot, and that's with the $300 super chat.
There you go. I don't know. It's a lofty goal. I get it.
It's a big ask.
But it's
also a big ask midday Tuesday for Abby to do a boot.
3 beers on a Tuesday. Down the hatch. Yikes. Let's go to Mr._Shelby20. No one can ruin my day better than the Raiders when they lose, LOL. Praying hands for the nation. Shots. So I think this was one of the ones that came up during when we said shot clock for Brett. If not, Mr. Shelby, I know you always watch the show. I'm with you, though. It's actually amazing to me how excited I am every single game day. I wake up, I come into work, all happy and chipper, ready to rock and roll, and then
he's got his makeup on.
Had my makeup on last week. Yeah, I got some interesting looks walking to work. But when they lose, especially when they lose the way that they did to the Saints, that's a rough one. Cheers to the nation. Let's go to Jay Reezy. Who is one trade/trades you think could get us back in playoff contention if we make today? Can't believe how much we have underachieved. F the donkeys. Well, I put out a video, I want to say last week, about some potential trade targets that I would like for Las Vegas to get. Probably the number one name that I want the Raiders to try to figure out a way to get is Daron Payne, defensive tackle of the Washington Commanders. And to me, the Raiders' interior defensive line is weak. It's why you're not getting any pressure. When the offensive line from the opposing team doesn't have to worry about the interior, yeah, it's going to make for a major issue. Daron Payne this season, I get it. The PFF grades are probably a little bit lower than what you like to see overall, but still, Payne to me can be a good player. He can help out your defensive tackle room. The fact that the Commanders already invested in their other defensive tackle, Johnathan Abram, I don't know if it's going to cost a second, if it's going to cost a third. To me, though, that's one of the players that I think could really help out this team. If you were to ask me what player I think is the most likely that we trade for, I'm going to go safety Jabril Peppers. That's my prediction. The player that's the most likely to get traded to the Raiders is Jabril Peppers. I'm not saying it happens. That's just my prediction. Jay Reezy, though, cheers to you, bro. Let's go to the next one. Coming in here from Darian Foreman. Sell the team today and start over. I'm fed up with this team and taking up for Carr. I don't really think Mark Davis is a great owner. Unfortunately, he is the owner, though. It's not like you can just... I don't think he's going to leave. The Raiders are a money-making machine. You're in Las Vegas. You just got a brand-new stadium. You got the Pro Bowl coming there. The Super Bowl is going to be there. Mark is a businessman first. I don't think he's got the greatest football mind whatsoever, especially nothing like Al. He likes money, though. Who doesn't? And for that reason, he's not going to sell the team.
He's a businessman, not a business man.
Adding Magic Johnson, though, would be interesting. More money. More money can go around means more players. Let's go to Papaya Man 89. Trade Carr for a pack. No trade clause. So there you go. Sean, put on your GM hat. Who would you be targeting, and what would you give up for it? I mean, right now, first off, I would be trying to trade away Clelin Ferrell. I would be trying to trade away Johnathan Abram. Those would be the top 2 players that I would look to move. I would look to move offensive guard John Simpson would absolutely be another name that I would sit up here and try to consider trading. Those would be the 3 players to move on from. In terms of going and getting someone, Deron Payne at defensive tackle. I think you need another edge rusher. Cheaper a name here is somebody like Jerry Hughes, Rasheem Green is a name to keep in mind. Lorenzo Carter is a name to keep in mind. At the cornerback position, if you want somebody cheap, Sidney Jones would be somebody that I would consider. I'm trying to think, Jabril Peppers again. Those are all names that I would make a deal for, but none of those names are like the big blockbuster deal that I think you guys want. To me, the Raiders aren't going to make that big blockbuster deal, at least not today. They might add a few key pieces here and there, but in terms of a big blockbuster deal, I just don't know if that one ends up going down. So we'll see. Steven, what up, bro? At this point, Josh McDaniels will only keep his job because of his players, not because of his leadership. If Jacobs wasn't balling, what would our record be? Wouldn't be great. I know that.
1 win.
Probably.
One
but here's
win.
the other thing. If you also had...
Without Jacobs, I think you lose to the Texans.
If you had a mediocre coach, though, and I'm talking average coach, the Raiders at worst right now, I would say, are 4-3. At worst. And that's
fair.
with a mediocre coach. Because to me, good coaches don't blow a 20-0 lead. I know you played the Chiefs, you blew a 17-point lead. That shouldn't happen either. So those are 2 wins that you should already have. 24-0 to the Saints is an absolute joke fest. You didn't show up against the Titans. 3 interceptions from Carr against the Chargers. You know, that's going to happen here and there. So, Steven, I appreciate your super chat, but McDaniels, it sounds like no matter what, is going to get his opportunity to get his players under the same roof, get his system in place. You're going to get 3 years to do it, and if it doesn't work then you probably move on. Let's go to Fat Bearded Dad. What up, fellas? Just joined. Have I missed anything Raiders-wise? Cheers and chugs. I missed the beard on you.
I'm trying to grow mine out.
I mean, you should do no shave Fat Bearded Dad November.
No shave November?
That'd be pretty wicked. I could try to do it too, though.
It's day 1 right now.
It is day 1. I just don't know if I'd even be allowed to.
Hefty bearded dad?
I don't know if I'd be allowed to. With Amazon and all that, I don't think
As long as you keep it kept, you just can't keep a coop beard. You got to brush it.
True. I don't know how my beard would even look if I didn't shave for a month. We'll see.
Probably longer.
All right, Robert. What up, Rob? Cheers for you watching the show. Shout out to you. Remember, y'all, any super chat amount, we can put it up on screen, get you guys a little bit of airtime. Every super chat that we get goes back to the Raiders Report. It goes back to getting you guys more videos, keeping the lights on around here. Always remember that. Let's go to Sal. Fire McDaniels now. Play out the season. Bring back Chucky and coaches. Gruden, Bisaccia again, and quarterback coach. Rob, Ryan, DC, Charles Woodson, DB's coach.
Ooh.
This would be probably one of the most insane overall coaching staffs ever. But if I'm Rich Bisaccia, I'm not going to coach underneath John Gruden again. No freaking way, man. If I'm Charles Woodson, I don't even know if I want to be a DB coach with all his other endeavors he's got going on with his Woodson whiskey business, his wine business. So I get you might not want McDaniels, and if you want the Raiders to fire Josh McDaniels, spam fire McDaniels right now in the chat.
And I think...
And I don't want Chucky back. I don't. And that's coming from me, the Chucky head dude.
Obviously, the Raiders have a rich history. They have great coaches, great players.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of the weakness is that a lot of Raider fans, a lot of people in the Raiders organization keep on trying to go back on past success instead of innovating and finding a new name and finding a new identity. I think getting, like you said, you suggested getting Brian Dable, getting a new guy in there, trying to get a new system, I think that would be the best thing for the Raiders right now. Not going back to old things that have happened, not trying to go back on old success and old glory. I think with this program right now, this group of players, this front office, you need something new. You need a fresh start.
You do. You need a head coach that also knows how to keep up with times. Like, there are a lot of older NFL coaches that have already flat out said that they've hired somebody that can help them manage all the new technology, all the new stats, all this new information that we have available to our hands. Gruden didn't do that. Gruden never did that. So I'm good on Gruden. I don't need him. To me, he wasn't good at making adjustments
I feel
either.
like you need a fresh start. That's all I'm
I
saying.
would want a newer, younger head coach, somebody who can bring new ideas to a team. I mean, look at right now what Kevin O'Connell's doing in Minnesota. Brand new head coach, new philosophy, new. It works. Brian Dable, new. It's working. New head coaches to me are the path.
You know who I would love?
Who?
I think I've been saying the past 2 seasons he needs to be a head coach. DeMeco Ryans.
DeMeco Ryans is a great defensive mind, and
Dude.
he's a tough dude. He would bring toughness back to Las Vegas.
He is
would.
a legit coach. He is so smart. I remember watching him as a middle linebacker for the Texans and the Eagles in his playing days. He is so smart. He is the leader of the defense, and what he's been able to do with, a lot of people once Mo Salah went to the Jets, they were like, oh, the 49ers defense is going to take a step back. It's gotten better under DeMeco Ryans.
Yeah. Hey, I don't disagree with you whatsoever. I like DeMeco. He's also learned behind somebody like Robert Saleh. You've seen what he's been able to do for the Jets right now.
Yeah.
So a lot of good defensive minds
And he's a leader of men.
He is.
If you hire DeMeco Ryans, he's getting instant respect from the locker room.
Oh, absolutely. I would say right now if you hired DeMeco, like you want players that would, figuratively run through a wall for you. I don't think there's a single player on that Raiders team that would run through a wall for McDaniels. I don't. All right, Los Banos Tire Shop. Thoughts?
Love the name.
Waller, do you see him getting traded? I don't see him getting traded.
I do.
I don't think it makes any sense for this team to do that. I get the fact that they just gave him a new contract. I will admit, I have watched Waller's body language over the past year or so, and he doesn't look very happy in Las Vegas. But what are you going to get for him? You're going to get a third round pick at best? If I would have said y'all wanted more than a first rounder in the offseason, to me, trading Waller makes more sense in the offseason. Unfortunately, but if a team's willing to give you a second rounder, if Chase Claypool can get a second round pick, to me, Waller can get one too because they're similar athletic build. Well, I'd actually say Waller is a better overall athlete than Chase Claypool. Let's go to Joey Avila. William Jackson gone to the Steelers. Shake my head. Shake my head too, bro. Let's go to the next super chat coming in here.
Here's that trade, by the way.
Yes, this is the trade that went down. Steelers, they got William Jackson, a late-round pick swap. The Commanders also got a late-round pick. It's going to come down to how much money how much money they got. We'll wait to see. I love this super chat coming in here from Time to Grab Your Balls. It's now Lord Brian Maxey to you peasants. What's funny is, and I hope that you're being serious about this, this makes this like even 100 times better. Imagine if you made your friends call you Lord. Now, sure, you might not physically be able to make them, but if your name is legally Lord and you change it on your driver's license, your plane ticket,
which you can
change your name legally if you go to establishedtitles.com/chat. You can literally become a Lord today. The link is available for y'all. How about this for the people who are just joining in now? Let's tell them a little bit more about our brand new sponsor here. I think it'd be kind of cool to be called Lord Mitchell Renz, Lord Jeremy Chugs, and you can save an extra 10% on a perfect holiday gift. Has anybody out there ever had a Secret Santa, or my family, we always do these like gift exchanges, and whoever has like the best gift always gets the most laughs. To me, you will win best gift of the year if you go to establishedtitles.com/chat. So what I'm going to do now, y'all, is I'm going to tell you about our brand new sponsor. It's a weird one, but I love it, though, because I think Raider Nation's really going to enjoy this. So, Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global restoration efforts. It is a project based on historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packages give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on it. I'll also say you can go all the way up to 10 square feet in Scotland, and the official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, one tree planted and trees for the future to support global restoration efforts. You could officially include the title Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane tickets, dating profiles. It's going to make a great last-minute gift, and the first 200 people that purchase the title pack using my link which you guys can find down there below at establishedtitles.com/chat. We're trying to make our very own Raider Nation plot of land. So we got like 200 of these plots of lands that we can get rid of. So the first 200 people, you get it. It's all y'all's. We can create a whole plot of land. But imagine being on a dating site. That's like the easiest conversation starter ever. Oh, I'm Lord Mitchell Renz. There you go. So if you're single,
do you want to be my lady?
Time to grab your balls. Lord, I'm just going to call you Lord Balls from here on out.
Lord Balls?
Lord Balls.
All hail Lord Balls!
I mean, this is, when we first got this inquiry about being a new sponsor, I was like, what in the world is this? The more and more I read about it, it's really kind of a crazy gift idea, and it goes to a good cause. So I'm always on board.
Yeah, it also preserves Scottish land, and they're planting trees to help the environment.
Correct. So yes, it's kind of funny and silly, but it's actually 100% legit. You can have your name on your license as Lord Jeremy Chugs. Lord Chugs. That sounds kind of weird.
Lady Chugs.
That's Danny. Let's go to Anthony Allen. I just wanted to say you guys are awesome. Let's go.
Raiders. Dylan Erickson.
I feel like the amount of times I've been screaming Raiders, my voice has been kind of getting kicked out a little bit. I've been a full-on, giggity, Carr believer since his first start, but it just seems more and more like he doesn't elevate. He needs elevated. New quarterback next year. And, I think that's sometimes okay. Like, when I look at Derek Carr, I look at Derek Carr the same way I look at somebody like Kirk Cousins, where you've seen flashes of him being very good, but it's an inconsistent roller coaster ride. You need a lot of talent around DC for him to succeed. Derek isn't somebody who's going to carry an NFL team. He's just not that guy anymore. Ever since the injury, that's not going to happen.
Hey, you're not that guy, Bow.
But when you look at head coaches like Nick Sirianni, somebody like Kevin O'Connell, who has taken the players that they have and built their system around the players they have instead of taking the players and forcing them into a system, that's what good coaches do. Good coaches take their system, build it around the talent they have, not force it in. So I do think it's a bad combination between Derek Carr and Josh McDaniels right now. Let's go to Daniel Keenan. I'd rather get a UDFA
excuse me, you have to yell it, please.
Than have McDaniels. I don't think I can, unfortunately. If you want to, you can.
I'd rather get a UDFA than have McDaniels.
Yep, I'm probably with you there, bro. Darian, my B, I meant sell as in trade all valued players. So that's the next one. I meant sell as in trade all the valued players. I mean, the two players that are the most valued are Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller. Those are the two players that you have the most value for in terms of a trade. And in terms of also being like realistic trade partners. You're not going to trade Devontae Adams. You're not going to trade Derek Carr. You're not going to trade Max Crosby. I will say a name to look out for, and there's been some weird rumors, rumblings, has been around Hunter Renfrow because Renfrow's inability to be a fit in McDaniels' offense, which blows my mind for the simple fact of Renfrow has been able to fit in any offense he's ever played in. And I thought if there was one player who I was like going to guarantee him being able to fit in the offense was Renfrow. There have been rumblings, though, about the Raiders potentially moving on from Hunter. I'd be pissed off, man. I'd be mad. I really would be. The two players, though, I think are the most likely to get dealt for the Raiders, Johnathan Abram, Clelin Ferrell. Not too much changes there. Both players had their fifth-year decline. Let's go to YO. I pay an extra $60 a month for my cable just to be able to watch the Raiders. This sucks. Let's go Raiders, F. McDaniels. So, you pay an extra $60 a month for cable just to watch the Raiders. I get it, man. Cable's expensive. That's why we try to make these shows for free, and I 100% understand you guys being frustrated. I'm frustrated, too, by it. I mean, imagine, I've seen somebody like my good buddy Graphic Raider. He was tweeting out like, man, I don't know if I'm going to go to the games anymore. And I don't blame him. I mean, it's so expensive to, not only pay for you, your loved ones. I mean, I was just talking to a Raider fan the other day. He said he's taking his family of 5 to a Raiders game.
Oh.
I mean, it's like a $4,000 vacation.
I mean, check out this stuff. We broke this down on our show the other day, but Check out these numbers.
The Las Vegas Raiders top the list as the most expensive NFL team to follow with a total of $273.47 per person per game. The Raiders have the highest average ticket price at $153.47, as well as the highest price for parking at $100. Fans will also find the most expensive hot dog in the NFL at Allegiant Stadium, costing $8. So if you're saying per person, it's going to cost you $273, and realistically,
that's not including travel and hotel.
And those, you're paid $273 to go to a Raiders game right now. You're sitting up in the nosebleeds. So those numbers are also put into consideration for the fans that also come in from the opposing teams. But it's expensive going to Raiders games. It is. YO, I appreciate your super chat, my brother Jeremy. We are halfway to a boot.
Oh, we're halfway there.
Oh.
Living on a prayer. We're also 50 likes away from spinning the wheel.
Yep.
I have a game for y'all, though.
Also, another trade just went down. The 49ers are trading running back Jeff Wilson to the Miami Dolphins. So the Miami Dolphins just traded Chase Edmonds and that Bradley Chubb deal. Our Dolphins host is about to just lose his mind.
I was told by somebody there weren't going to be a lot of trades today. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that person's on the hot seat. That's all I know.
Another trade.
Another trade just went down.
You want to play a game?
All right, I'm worried what this says.
I'd rather have blank than Josh McDaniels. I'll let you fill in the blank. What would you rather have than Josh McDaniels?
Chlamydia. It goes away. I mean, seriously though, I would rather have. Right now, if you told me I could...
A vasectomy, anybody, chlamydia, herpes.
Well, herpes doesn't go away.
Ronald McDonald, Sean Payton.
I mean, I would definitely rather have Sean Payton. Also, hang on a second here. Breaking news, the Atlanta Falcons are trading wide receiver Calvin Ridley to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow.
That's freaking huge.
And I was told there weren't going to be a lot of trades today.
And we still have a whole hour. The Falcons just traded wide receiver Calvin Ridley, who, by the way, is suspended for the entire season this year because he bet like $1,500. Suspended the whole season, but, Deshaun Watson's allowed to do his thing. To the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, that's bad.
You got to give a lot of credit to Jacksonville. They've been trying to put a lot of wide receiver talent in that room. They've overpaid. I am curious to see, though, what Calvin Ridley goes for in a trade. That's a huge one.
Some other great answers.
Bubble ham sandwich from Chuck.
Bubble guts, a parasite, crap in my pants, crabs, a yeast infection,
Oh my God.
Chugs, Rich Bisaccia, Mike Tomlin, a colonoscopy. All things you would rather have.
I've never had a colonoscopy.
A pizza ball.
Pizza does sound pretty good right now. Chewed bubble gum from Steve.
An ingrown toenail.
Oh my God. Anal beads from the Raider.
An enema, oral surgery.
Oh my Lord.
The clap.
$5.
$5, yeah.
I think that's where we end that.
I'd rather have $5.
Let's go back through some super chats that have come through here on the show. Let's go to Arbora 1992. Mitch, brother, what's up? Mitch, you last week, a few weeks due to work. How much do you think Mark Davis has been influencing keeping Carr? Gruden and McDaniels have been hired with the concept of working with Carr, and we know that your super chat was really long, and we know how he loves Carr. I mean, here's the thing. If you're McDaniels and you spoke and you said, hey, our plan is to keep Josh McDaniels for a long time, if McDaniels goes up to you and says, I want to be able to pick my own quarterback, you kind of have to let him do it. Now, there's an option where you pick a quarterback, you let him learn behind DC. Yes, it's absolutely an option. But you also have to face the fact of money talks. And the fact that Derek Carr has $0 million guaranteed the next 3 years of his contract and the Raiders can save $110 million, like, that tells you everything you need to know. People can say what they want about, oh, we like this guy, we like that guy here and there. But seeing the fact that you can save $110 million and $0 million is guaranteed, that doesn't sell me on Derek Carr. It tells me Mark Davis would rather give the keys to Josh McDaniels than Derek Carr. That's what that tells me.
Also, 8 likes away from spinning the wheel.
8 likes away from spinning the wheel right now. $8% inflation and $7 gas. That's freaking great,
More
man.
things that you'd rather have than Josh McDaniels.
All right, let's go to Chris. If we don't trade for someone, I just feel like we're trying to make a push for the playoffs. Our defense needs some help. Nose tackle, cornerback. I mean, yeah, this Raiders defense needs help in a lot of different areas. And I hope that we are trying to push for the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. I think we all hope that. However, if McDaniels is like, hey, I don't have my right guys yet, I would say then McDaniels just goes to show that he's going to be a shitty head coach. But he could say that. He's like, I want to be able to build for the future. It doesn't make sense. Like, you don't build for the future after giving up a first and a second for Devontae Adams. That's why this whole thought of a rebuild to me doesn't make sense. You don't give up a first and a second round pick when you're trying to rebuild after getting Devontae Adams. Doesn't make sense.
Also, some of the latest trades that have gone on. We just talked about Calvin Ridley to the Jags. For details TBD. So we'll have to see. We'll go back to that one. Dolphins get Jeff Wilson, 49ers, a 5th-round pick.
Yep.
I think Dolphins are all in this season. They're trying to win a Super Bowl.
They should be. I mean, if you can beat Buffalo, which they're the only team that has beaten Buffalo so far, you got to think before Tua got hurt, they were one of the top teams in the NFL.
It's actually really funny. The thing about Jeff Wilson, I actually went to college with him at the University of North Texas. Me and Jeff Wilson went to college together. Crazy story. Hard to believe, I know. We went to school together, so crazy.
All right, I'm trying to figure out here these compensation details for Calvin Ridley. I'm going to read you off a tweet from Ian Rappaport here, and this is what it says from Rap Sheet. There are conditions attached to this trade for Calvin Ridley. If he gets reinstated by a date, it's worth a 2023 5th. Otherwise, it's for a 6th-round pick. If he makes the team in 2024, it's at least a 4th. If he hits playing time, mile 3rd. If Jacksonville gets a long-term deal done, it's a 2nd. So
that is probably one of the most asterisk trade.
So put the Calvin Ridley deal back up on screen. So the Calvin Ridley deal has all these different types of what ifs because he's suspended for the entire season. So again, I'm going to read it off to you. If he gets reinstated by a date, it's worth a 5th-round pick. Otherwise, it's for a 6th. If he makes the team in 2024, it's a 4th. If he hits a playing time milestone, 3rd. If Jacksonville gets a long-term deal done with Calvin Ridley, it's a 2nd.
What if they were like, oh, the long-term deal, that's 3 years. We're going to give him a 2-year extension and then 1 year and give him another extension. I'd be like, Calvin, come on. You know the deal. We're going to give you a short-term deal and give you a bunch of money.
So the soonest he can reapply for reinstatement, February 15th, 2023.
That's crazy.
Yep. So that's the earliest he can apply to be reinstated, which everyone anticipates that he will be reinstated, but we'll see, man. Interesting trade. It's kind of a ballsy one. Definitely kind of a ballsy one.
Did we
Chris,
read this one?
I kind of answered this one. You go back to it, though. I mean, overall, I think, Chris, the issue is you're not going to get a big deal today. At least I don't think so. If a big deal does end up getting done, it does end up happening.
Our boss also told us that there weren't going to be a lot of trades today. So
Very true. Very true. Let's go to Captain Jack Morgan. What up, bro? No shave November. Y'all can't shave until the Raiders win again. At this point, this is a debatable topic. What do you guys think? Should we do no shave November until the Raiders win?
no shaving until the Raiders win?
Oh, my Lord.
Literally.
Literally.
At establishedtitles.com/chat. Become a lord.
What do you guys think? Should Jeremy and I not shave until the Raiders win? See, I guess my problem with that then is if the Raiders win, do I want to shave? I don't know.
I mean, you can't even trim it until the Raiders win.
Correct.
And then once they win, you can trim it.
Yikes.
No manscaping until the Raiders win either.
Oh, that's
No
devastating.
manscaping until the Raiders win. Oh!
What do you got? Oh, I don't know what this is. I'm worried, though. Brett's got something in his hand here. He won't show it to me, which means I'm worried. Oh, you know what? I think I know what this is.
Hey, y'all.
This is that guy, Brett. He's the one that said no trades are going to happen today.
Yep. No trades. No trades are going to happen today.
He said minus trades.
Lord Mitchell Renz. I hereby W Lord Mitchell Renz. The chroma is not loving that. It's just lights. Yeah.
So again, y'all, we got an awesome new sponsor. It's probably one of the weirdest sponsors I've ever had, but my name is now legally Lord Mitchell Renz. I can put this on my plane tickets. I can put this on my driver's license. And we have plots of land for you guys in Scotland where we're trying to build a whole Raider Nation. So if you go to establishedtitles.com/chat, the next 200 will be part of the Raiders Report plot. So we essentially blocked off 200 plots of land here with Established Titles. I didn't know they were going to do this. We talked about getting me the official title.
All hail Mitchell Renz!
I mean, y'all can actually see, like, this is official. So I can actually go by Lord Mitchell Renz. That's kind of crazy to me. If you guys want to join the Raiders Report plot, hey, go to establishedtitles.com/chat. Not only do you get a little bit of plot of land, it also goes to help just restoration in Scotland, and it also just helps, keep our planet growing, which I know some of y'all care about, some of you might not care about. I care about it. So establishedtitles.com/chat. Become a lord or lady today. What up, Steve? Years of waiting for the Raiders to have a solid foundation, and once we got there, what do? We wasted talent and chemistry. That's what hurts. Yes. I mean, think about how many Raider fans you talked to this offseason. Think about how many times we talked about it this year. If I would have said the Raiders win 10 games, everyone here would be like, that's a wasted year. The fact that this team is 2-5, there's a lot of talent, and they're just not playing together as a team. But that goes to your head coach. Your head coach, somebody who, I'm sorry, I don't think he's a good head coach. Never have, and I don't think I ever will. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong in saying that, because if I'm wrong in saying that, that means the Raiders are winning football games. But until I see anything from McDaniels that gives me confidence that he can actually coach or be a leader of men, I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. Let's go to the next Super Chat coming in here on the Raiders Report. Jeremy, 150 likes away from spinning that wheel. Brian Flores, all the Raiders offense I've seen always try to win in shootouts. The defense, even from 2016, had issues getting stops. I feel like a lot of people were going to point the finger at the Raiders defense, and that's fair. They deserve criticism. They have not been great. But you also have to take into consideration how bad the Raiders' offense has been at times this season. Like, when I think of how bad they've been that first half against the Chargers, Raiders' defense on the game the entire time. The second half against Arizona, on the field the entire time. Up against Tennessee, on the field the entire time in the first half. Against the Chiefs, late in that game, the offense stopped working. Defense is on the field for a long period of time. The Patrick Graham system is built on bending but not breaking. When you're on the field for a long period of time, that is going to be an issue. Now, Patrick Graham needs to learn how to make adjustments. I'm not sitting up here saying that he doesn't. The Raiders entering that game against the Saints were top 3 in the NFL in terms of points per game. But, you can't be satisfied with this passing game. The passing game that you have seen this season from Josh McDaniels just got shut out against New Orleans, a team that gave up over 40 points to Arizona. I get it, they had 2 defensive touchdowns in that game. But you didn't even cross midfield. That's just downright embarrassing. That's just downright bad coaching and players not knowing what the hell they're supposed to do. Javi, what up, bro? Mark D needs to lower ticket prices. That's at least what the fans deserve. Going to the Jags versus Las Vegas, what kind of...
Chug sign.
Oh, Chugs, that's up to you, bro.
Oh.
Whatever you want. What kind of chug sign?
We want chugs.
We want chugs. All right. We want chugs. That's what we want. We want chugs. Javi, you make that happen. Send a picture to Jeremy and I on Twitter on game day.
That's a boot.
Okay.
It wouldn't be fair if I didn't do it.
You're right. No, you're right. If you do that, Javi, we want chug sign at the game. It's a boot. It's a boot on the house. What up, Eric? You're next up here on the Raiders Report. The fresh start began with the team rallying behind Bisaccia and that coaching staff last season. I don't know why we strayed from that coaching group. You strayed from that coaching group because I don't think that they actually thought that those guys were going to be able to continue to improve, which you can agree if you want here and there. To me, though, Rich Bisaccia had that locker room. You knew that you were going to lose a lot of those players that had Bisaccia's back. So, overall, Bisaccia to me is a good coordinator. I don't know if he could have been a head coach for years to come. Maybe he can be. Maybe he can be. To me, though, I actually think Josh McDaniels is a good offensive-minded coach. That might surprise some of you. In fact, I've talked to multiple NFL players that have told me that McDaniels is a very intelligent offensive mind. But one of my issues is he can't work with people. And if you can't work with people, then I don't understand how you can be a head coach. He just looks like he's in way over his head. If you added the head coach next to McDaniels, I think you'd see a lot different thing. I really, really do. PG2869, what up, bro? How much trade capital, draft picks, cash do we have? I mean, right now you're at about $9.4 million in salary cap space. In terms of your draft picks, now remember, because the Raiders have all these different compensation picks, the last time that I checked, you got to pick rounds 1 through 4. I believe then you got 2 5s, 3 6s, and then 3 7s, if my memory serves me correctly. Let me just look it up.
I'm trying to look to see if we have a graphic made for
We don't
it.
have a graphic. So this is what the official website says here. A first, a second, a third, a fourth pick, a fourth comp pick, a fifth rounder, a sixth rounder, another sixth rounder, a sixth comp pick, and then a seventh rounder. So the Raiders right now, according to the website I use for draft picks, a fourth, 2 4s, a fifth, 3 6, and a 7, plus a 1, 2, and a 3. If the draft were to start today, Raiders, the number 6 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. Let's go to FB702.
I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Chandler Ghost Jones, trade DC, blows trade, Renfro overpaid, trade Jacobs, trade, coach is bad, fire him now, this is a rebuild, wake up. I mean, that
$7 super chat.
That would be a rebuild, and you're right. I don't know if I've ever seen a $7 super chat. So
I've seen a $6.66 one, a $23.45 one.
Yep.
I haven't seen a $7 one before.
Yep. You know what super chat I actually don't think I've ever seen? A 365. Now that I think about it.
We've seen a 314.
And a 214. And a 114. And a 14. Shout out to Wild 114. Let's go to Pico de Gallo. I wonder how locker room morale is right now. How do you look your teammates in the face after that effort from last game? Chugs looks like a young Ben Affleck.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's an insult. That's a good thing.
That's actually a really, really nice of you.
I mean, personally for me, I don't know how you look at your team in the locker room after that game. Yeah, McDaniels was like, you can put that on me or whatever, but man, that game that game against the Saints was probably one of the most frustrating games I've seen because the players quit. Players quit on Josh McDaniels. There's no way that an NFL team in today's NFL with offense doesn't get across the 50-yard line unless they flat out quit. And the fact that you got a team quitting on you, that's a bad sign.
Look, it's Chugs. Everybody, that's a picture of me.
If you and I were to have a baby, it'd be a young Ben Affleck. Let's go to Raider Nation for Life 420. In my opinion, Mayock's picks are the problem outside of Max and Hobbs.
100%.
McDaniels wants his own players and new athletic quarterback. Carr's contract tells it all.
Oh, we got a couple.
Yeah, I saw. I mean, you're right. If you're a new head coach, you're going to want your brand new players, and you're going to get a lot different looking team for the Las Vegas Raiders. You are. It's going to be a totally different team going forward. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad. I don't have a lot of confidence in McDaniels to be able to build a team, but it is a wait-and-see process at this point. Yeah. Also, y'all, we are 45 minutes away from the NFL trade deadline ending, so if the Raiders want to make a deal, it's got to be in the next 45 minutes. Let's go to Lavoie. A.J. Cole, best player last game. I like how McDaniels has schemed him into every offensive drive. You know what? This is an elite super chat.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, here's the only way I'll disagree with that. On the 4th and 2 fake punt, ball wasn't in A.J. Cole's hands. That was the issue.
Yeah.
That 4th and 2 play should have been in A.J. Cole's hands. And then it should have hit his foot.
Uh-huh.
That's how that play should have worked. Levi, or is it?
Levi.
Levi, you're onto something. Gregory, was I the only one sick to my stomach on Sunday? Absolutely embarrassing. Oh, I was sick. I went home.
Mitch went and threw up.
That's cap. But, or at least wasn't from the loss. Might have been from some other stuff. I'll say this. That game yesterday, I was more frustrated in that Saints game than I was the Cardinals collapse, for the simple fact of this was your must-win game. 3 and 4, a lot different than 2 and 5. And you had time to prepare. You had time to get ready, and that was the effort that you put on the field. To me, that was just the guys didn't practice.
And it's
nobody showed up.
It's not even like you got beat by a top 10 quarterback. Like you went and got beat 24-0 to the Bills.
You got whooped on both sides of the football.
By Andy Dalton.
By the New Orleans Saints, who were 2 and 5. I mean, I will say the NFL is the perfect realization that anybody can beat anybody any given week, and if you don't put in the work, the time, the energy, you will get defeated. But a game like that falls on coaches. The game like that falls on your leaders. When you have a spineless head coach and a quarterback who, cover your ears for you Kardashians, for somebody who is as soft as Kleenex, that rubs off on your team. And to me right now, the Raiders are playing like a team that's got a bunch of leaders that are a bunch of pansies, and that's how they're playing on the field. They're playing soft. They are. I'm sorry. Javier, what up? What was Musgrave's secret to getting Carr going? I mean, really, and then Del Rio let him go. Yeah, so here's the issue. Derek Carr, before injury, 2015, 2016 Derek Carr does not exist anymore. He doesn't. He's not that player. He can't run that way. He doesn't trust that way anymore. He doesn't have the pocket awareness anymore. He gets happy feet now. All of those reasons why that Derek Carr does not exist. Derek, does he get sacked a lot? Yes, but he is also responsible for a lot of those sacks. His pocket awareness has to be one of the worst I've seen in the NFL this season. It has to be. BP, I would rather have than McDaniels. I mean, I don't know. I was trying to think of a clever innuendo for that. Yep. I can't think of one. Let's go to Thomas Frazier. What up, Thomas? One of the goats around here. What up, guys? I'm at work, but at least I can listen to the Raiders Report. Keep up the good work. Thomas, I'll take a drink to that, my brother. Though, I do need a refill. If you could go get me one. I would appreciate it.
He becomes a lord, and then all of a sudden he's just demanding everyone around, telling everybody what to do. It gets to your head.
I am officially a lord, though, for those of you that don't believe me. I am officially a lord. Let's go to Mr. Leroy. I started something. Go. Chug! So Mr. Leroy is the very first person that made a sign at an NFL game with a chug sign. And now, if you go to a Raiders game and you hold up a chug sign, you send us a picture, it's a free boot on the house. There's going to be a day where we get in trouble and 4 Raider fans have a chug sign at a game. That's going to be an issue. But you know what? I'm ready for it. What up, Danny? Is there any quarterback in free agency or on the trade market that is better than Derek Carr? Right now, no. You're not going to find a better quarterback than DC right now. Now, for next offseason in 2023, one of the things that we will talk about here on this live show is I'm going to look at some Derek Carr replacements. I'll talk about some guys that you can trade for, that you can sign, that you can draft. We will get into that segment after the NFL trade deadline hits. So that's definitely something to at least stay tuned and watch. I don't want the Raiders to move on from Derek Carr, though. And, people are going to watch that video and be like, oh, Mitch, you're such a Carr hater. I don't want Carr to fail. I want Carr to succeed. If Carr succeeds, the Raiders win. But there is a part of that where I'm a Raider fan first, and then players come third. Nation comes number 2, and then you go on from there. So you gotta sometimes just realize the fact that sometimes certain guys aren't the guys, especially when they get older. Let's go to Fuck Q.
Dude. elite name.
Hear me out, nation. Heading into the offseason, make defensive line or offensive line a priority, maybe even linebacker. Then we target the quarterback Hooker from Tennessee. Bama and OSU don't put out good quarterbacks and are surrounded by top talent. How about this? I also like the kid Hooker from, also hang on a second, another trade just went down here. The Denver Broncos are trading for Jets pass rusher Jacob Martin. One of several players expected to fill the void, and Bradley Chubb. Denver is giving up a 4th-round pick in 2024 in exchange for a 2024 5th and Jacob Martin. So we'll get back to fuck you. I like Hooker a lot. Giggity. He's 26 years old.
A hooker in Vegas?
He's 26 years old, though. You know, like I do think like that has to go into the equation where a lot of these other quarterbacks are 21.
That's pretty old for a hooker.
I mean, Jacob Hooker would be, I think he's like 2
Hendon
years.
Hooker.
What did I say?
Jacob.
Oh, Hendon Hooker, excuse me. I was looking at Jacob Martin. Hendon Hooker is like 3 years older than, somebody like Tua. He's older than Justin Herbert.
Hendon Hooker's my age.
Crap, that's old. I'm with you, though, man. Crazy idea, investing into the trenches would be a crazy idea. Let's go to James Cluck. Raiders should get Sean Payton since he wants back in, then make Rob Ryan the head defensive coach. I don't know about Rob Ryan as the head defensive coach. I know he's got a lot of coaching ties. I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can get Payton on the phone, make a few phone calls. Sean Payton's daughter did work here at Chat Sports, so
hit her up. Be like, hey, Meg.
I'll message her, Meg. Can we make it happen? We'll see.
How much Super Chat revenue for Sean Payton to come to the Raiders?
I mean, we can ask. Megan was cool, though.
I'm being told if we break our Super Chat record, Megan Payton will personally FaceTime her dad and make it happen.
I mean, I'll say this. I've thought about maybe 4 or 5 different times messaging Megan and being like, so does your dad want to come to Vegas? But I don't know. I'll do it for y'all. If you guys want.
I'll message her right now.
All right, Jeremy's going to message Megan. We're going to see what response we get. All right, y'all. So earlier in the show, I said I never got a $3.65 Super Chat. I actually said I never got a $3.65 Super Chat. Name play on here. So, Mr. Leroy, being the jokester that he is, shout out to Mr. Leroy. The reason why we said that is because we got a $7 Super Chat earlier in the show, which I don't know. I don't think I've ever gotten a $7 from FV702. That's the one we got. Also, y'all, we're going to keep rolling through some Super Chats here. We got about 37 minutes until the NFL trade deadline is done. 2,000 people watching the show right now.
I sent her.
We got to get to 1,000 likes.
I sent her a message. We'll see what happens.
All right, let's go to Brian. There you go, Lord Mitch. Hear ye, hear ye.
Lord Mitchell Renz.
I can't believe that this is a real thing. You laugh. I think I'm gonna figure out a way to change this on like my license or something. On a plane ticket would be elite. If I was still single, absolutely would put that on my dating profile. And if you guys want to be called Lord Brian Pavlik, you can go to establishtitles.com/chat. Let's go to Arbora 1992. If the Raiders pick McDaniels over Carr, who should the Raiders get as a quarterback in your opinion? Mitch, Mac Jones is one option. Any others?
Also,
Mac Jones is an option. I have a Derek Carr replacement video coming up today. So stay tuned for that. How about that? I don't want to give away all the names, but I got a lot of names in a video. I got them ranked. So.
Raider Nation for Life 420. We showed your Super Chat earlier about Mike Mayock and his picks.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, we've gone through.
Just rewind like 20 minutes.
Yeah, maybe you missed it. I don't know. We have gone through every Super Chat, though. I can also keep track because I got a screen down here. Let's go to Hector F. McDaniels this season is depressing so far. It's super depressing. I don't think there's any other way that you could potentially look at this season and not be depressed. Has to be.
Also, 70 likes away from another wheel spin.
How many?
70 likes away from another spin of the wheel.
Oh, this is funny as hell. Oh, man. I think we can get there. I think we can. I want the Raiders to make a freaking trade already. Somebody said trade for Mahomes. If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, Raiders offer me 20 first-round picks for Mahomes, I say no. I will say the player, I would rather have Josh Allen over than Mahomes. That might be an unpopular opinion for some people.
You got to think of it like this. If you had 10 first-round picks, you're hoping that one of those first-round picks is turns into 75% of what Mahomes is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, those are the two players where you can offer 10 first-round picks and both of those teams say no. It's the truth.
No one, R8FN says, what are the odds McDaniels is fired by Christmas?
0.
Only if you ask Santa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a scenario where they get rid of Josh McDaniels. It sucks saying that. We can wish for it, but it does sound like Mark Davis, no matter what, is going to give them 3 years.
20 likes
away. That was the plan.
20 likes
year
away.
And 2 more. 20 likes away from spinning the wheel. 20 likes away from spinning that wheel also. I just heard Bears now going crazy in the other room.
They got a 20-piece.
They're beating us.
Larry, thank you for the 10.
What's the updated Super Chat battle? How about that?
Yeah,
when you get a second, Luis, Mitch, I sent you a post on Instagram that said Aaron Rodgers was talking with the Raiders about a trade. Seems far-fetched, but what do you think? I don't know where you saw that or heard that from. I'm going to say that it's not true.
We got there.
However, if you could trade for Aaron Rodgers, you'd be kind of stupid not to do it personally. What is it?
Everyone drink! Everybody drink! Everybody drink!
Everybody spam down in the chat right now what you're sipping on. Jeremy and I got some Fireball and Trulies. Didn't plan on drink of the day, but you know what? Every day is... Who did? Oh, no. That's total.
I said $600 where y'all at?
It's about time you took over. I thought you meant in one. I was like, that's not even possible.
Yeah, that'd be insane. Luis, I'll look at it, but I mean, if you can get Aaron Rodgers, you do it.
We did get a 365 chat.
We did get a 365er.
Like $3.65.
$3.65. No.
That's how you made it seem.
So here's the funny part. Like, y'all can't see, but half of the office just walked in here, and they were like, "Did you just get a $600 super chat?" And everyone started freaking out because they're like, "Holy shit!"
I do have to say though,
what?
we're getting we're getting our cheeks clapped right now.
I don't know what that means.
Bears
we're catching up.
Bears is just clapping those cheeks.
We're coming back.
Their cheeks are getting clapped like these. Cheeks are getting clapped.
We're coming back. Don't y'all worry.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't sleep on Raider Nation.
It is Harrison Graham's birthday.
It is Harry's birthday.
All right, that's true.
But 2,000 live and you haven't made a trade. That's good stuff.
Oh man, I want the Raiders to make a freaking trade. Josh McDaniels sits to pee. I mean, I don't see a lie in that. I don't.
I sit to pee sometimes.
Oh, I do too. I'm not gonna if I'm really tired or if I'm really
when I get home from work,
if I'm really
I sit
effed
to
up
pee every time.
Yeah.
If I'm really drunk, I have to sit.
Why am
to
I
pee.
still staining?
Josh McDaniels sits to pee in public.
Okay, that's weird.
That's weird.
That's weird.
If you go to a public restroom and sit down to
only
pee,
be your own place.
yeah, that's weird. If you sit in the urinal, that's even worse. Let's go to Fonzie. Worst part of my birthday on Sunday was the effort. I mean, it had to be one of the worst efforts I've ever seen. From an NFL team with that much talent, one of the worst efforts I've ever seen, Fonzie. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Let's go to the next super chat rolling in here from June Bug Raider JB. All right. Get rid of McDaniels.
1.
Stop playing zone all the time on defense.
2.
Let Carr do him. Let Carr do him. Okay. Versace did, and Carr looked 110 times better.
3.
I get what you're saying, but that's kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. Let Carr do him, and you're good. That's all you need. I'll say this.
We're not the Browns, okay, guys?
I do think getting rid of McDaniels would help. Stop playing zone all the time. I would rather have them be a little bit more aggressive, blitz some more, and let Carr run the offense that he wants to run. I would like McDaniels to build an offense around Derek Carr and his offensive pieces instead of making his offensive pieces try to fit into his offensive scheme. That drives me nuts. Let's go to PG2869. Do you think the Raiders would mortgage house
for Lamar?
Yes. Now, here's the issue with that, okay? Lamar Jackson is not going to get traded right now. He's not going to get traded this season. It's not going to happen. However, if he doesn't get a deal done with Baltimore, and everyone's like, oh, that's never going to happen, never going to happen. I mean, you got to understand, he doesn't have an agent. His mom is his agent, and from what it sounds like, they're asking for a shit ton of money. And I'm talking a lot of money. If he becomes available, if I'm the Raiders, I make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. If Deshaun Watson, that predator, is going to get $230 million guaranteed, I'm going to give Lamar Jackson, who has an MVP underneath his belt, $250 million guaranteed. That's what I would do. You get Lamar Jackson on this Raiders team right now, they have 5 wins. They're 5-2. There you go. Your quarterback issue is solved. You get Lamar Jackson. Let's go to the next Super Chat. We're rolling in here on the Las Vegas Raiders Report. Shout out to everyone tuning in. What are y'all thoughts on past wide receivers like Crabtree, Aguilar, Cooper, Denarius Moore, and defensively a problem this season? We are not blitzing enough. Well, it's not only you're not blitzing enough, you're just not getting any kind of pressure whatsoever. Unless it's Max Crosby, you're not getting pressure. Thoughts on guys like Crabtree? I was a big fan of Crabtree, especially when he was at Texas Tech. Wide receiver of the year in 2006, 2007, but his ability to get open, good hands, I liked him a lot. Aguilar was a good fit with the Raiders. Amari Cooper, yes, was very talented, but did show that he was lazy, didn't want to be with the Raiders. Looks pretty good right now in Cleveland. Denarius Moore just had speed. And defense has been a problem for a very, very long time, which I think we can all agree at this point. I don't know if or when it's ever going to change. All right, y'all, those are all the Super Chats that we have so far. We are 28 minutes away from the NFL trade deadline. We've been talking about Derek Carr for a lot on today's show, which is reasonable, right? So what's your confidence level in the Raiders quarterback? Be honest with me. Scale it from 0 to 10. 0, you got no confidence in DC. 10, you have all the confidence in the world in him. I'm probably somewhere at around a 5. I've seen a good Derek Carr, and I've seen bad Derek Carr. You've seen both of them. Now, this season has been a little bit more of a frustration because of all the talent that he has around him. But I'm not going to sit up here and say that I think it's only on him. McDaniels hasn't been a good fit. They're not using their offensive weapons the right way. When you go look at the charts of the routes that some of these Raiders wide receivers are running, that's why I'm always like, McDaniels is running the first-grade offense. Their route trees are shameful.
All right.
Shameful.
Here are the numbers coming in, Mitch. 5, 0, 3, 2, 22, 7, 2, 10, 0, 0, 8, negative 1, 1, 0, 5, 23, negative 1, 7, 0, 5, 4, 6, 46, 7, 4, 7, 2, negative 1, 6, 0, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 6, 2, 6, 6, 6, 7, 4, 1, 8, 7, 2, 6, 3, 5, 6, 5, negative 1, 6, 4, 6, 5, 0, 3, 2, 6, 7, 0, 3, 4, 4, 10, 3, 7.5, negative 1, 0, 7, 1.5, 0, 9, 6, 0, 2, 8, 0, 6, 9, 4, 7, 3, 2, 5, 5, 3, 1, negative 100.
Like the longest phone number ever.
It sounded like a computer trying to decode itself.
Right? You like show that to your dad. I'm like, Dad, this is what it says. I don't know, bro. All right, man. Got a few more Super Chats that came in. Jeremy, I want to play a game. I want to play a game here. And I don't know what game that we should play. We're a few likes away. We got a few Super Chats to get to. I want y'all, the next person that sends in a Super Chat also, the deal for William Jackson involves a conditional 6th-round pick in 2025 being swapped for a conditional 7th in 2025. So that's more trade details there. First person that sends in a Super Chat will play your game of choice. To the best of our ability.
Depending on what you say.
True. Let's go to Andrew.
Spin the bottle.
F the Bears, F McDaniels. What the hell is happening with this team? Love what you guys do. Keep killing it. Raiders, sad, defeated voice.
Raiders.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm with you with this team. I don't know what's happening. I see a lot of talent. I just see bad execution. I really do. I see bad execution. Wyo Raider, that's clever. I'll make you a deal, Wyo. I'll make you a deal. If we get to 1,000 in supers
Before the end of the trade deadline.
I'll do a boot race with Jeremy. That's the deal. We're about 370 away. So if somebody has the cojones to send in a 300, Abby comes in, does a boot.
Yeah. Abby said a $300 super chat. If we get a $300 super chat, that means you're getting 3 boots.
Yeah.
Me, Mitch, and Abby.
Correct.
Wow. That turned very quick.
I don't know if that's ever happened before.
A 3-person boot race?
I'm losing that race.
That would.
I'm coming in last place, man.
That would be crazy.
Yes.
So a $300 super chat. We're doing a 3-way boot race.
I'm coming in last place, just so y'all know. That would be embarrassing for me, but I would do it. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm coming in last place. Andrew, cheers to you, bro. Let's go to the next super chat coming in here on the Raiders Report. Remember, you can send in a super. We put you up on screen just like we got right here. Report shows Jags were shopping Josh Allen.
That's true.
Trade Clelin Ferrell and a third for him. I would. This would be full circle because one of the top players that I wanted in that draft was Josh Allen, and I remember being live with Tom at the time, screaming for Josh Allen, and they took Clelin Ferrell instead, and I was just heated. I was super angry. Here's the issue, though. A third and Clee, I don't think is enough. Clee is not an asset. Clee is a liability, especially with how much money teams are going to have to take on to get him.
You'd have to give.
We'll see, though.
A third, Clee, a fifth, and maybe a conditional 6.
Whew. They do have the picks. Like, you got 3 6-round picks. So maybe a third, a sixth. You can throw Clee in there and then use one of your conditional 7ths from the year prior. That could be an option. Jacksonville, though, seems like that they still are trying to win right now. They've made some pretty aggressive trades. Let's go to Wyo. That was Wyo. He said boot race.
Like we said,
that's the deal.
We're just over $300 away, but if we get a $300 super chat, it's happening. A 3-way boot race.
Yep.
Me, Mitch, Abby, boot race. Never been done before. We have enough boots here now to do it.
We do. I'd be scared.
It's up to y'all. $300. You get 3 boots for $300. That's like one of those Walmart deals.
Crazy thing here. The Seahawks, they just cut J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was drafted ahead of D.K. Metcalf.
Yep.
Terry McLaurin.
Yep.
Deonta Johnson.
Uh-huh.
Hunter Renfrow.
Yep. Also, the reason why he's with the Seahawks traded Ugo Amadi.
Well, not anymore. He's got cut.
Earlier in the season.
The Seahawks just cut J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
I know, but how they got him is they traded the Eagles, Ugo Amadi, for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Both those players are now cut. So they traded each other those players to each cut those players.
Hey, I'll take the views. I'll take them. Let's go to G. Rich. What up, G? Does Carr's potential get coaches fired? 9 years, still has red zone issues. I mean, you bring up good points, right? I'm a big person in believing you got to weigh out options, right? And I also say all the time, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Also, just coming in now, the Patriots are not trading wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, according to Jordan Schultz, so we'll keep you up to date on that. But Carr's a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback, but you can't watch the film and say that Carr's a good red zone quarterback. He has never been a good red zone quarterback. You can't sit up here and say, yes, the offensive line at times struggles. But even when the offensive line blocks for him, he still gets happy feet. He has no ability whatsoever to be able to read a pocket. He's not good at stepping up into a pocket. He's not good at rolling to his right, rolling to his left. He is in a little area, and all he moves is frontwards and backwards in a pocket. In today's NFL, that's not going to get it done. I think Derek is a good quarterback. But for anyone telling you that he was top 10, I'm sorry. There's no world imaginable to me where Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback. It's not there anymore. And in fact, this season, he hasn't even played like a top 16 quarterback. If I were to do a quarterback ranking show right now, and y'all know I try to be as honest with you guys as I can be. To me right now, Derek would probably be around 18, 19. That's probably where I would rank him. 18 or 19 right now. With this team, Josh McDaniels, Derek Carr are holding the Raiders back from their potential. I'm not saying that's their only problem, but when I think about the overall potential of this Raiders team, Derek Carr and Josh McDaniels are holding those guys back. And you can make the argument those are the most two important people to take you where you're hoping you need to go. Let's go to Ulysses Garcia, met Lord Mitch at the Dallas Dart. Super cool guy. Trade Carr, Waller, first round for Jackson, Andrews if the Ravens were willing to trade. I hope this doesn't sound bad. Were you the guy that I was walking to work? I can still remember what I was wearing. You had one of those like fluorescent jackets on, and you gave me like knuckles. Because I remember I told my dad that day, I was like, Dad, I saw somebody like put up their hand, and I was like, oh, dude, this guy is about to F me up right now. Is that you? Because that would be kind of cool. Because I've told a few people, I walk to work every day, and that was only like the third time, I believe, that somebody saw me on my walk to or from work that was like, hey, I watch your show. So, Ulysses, if that's you, I'd like to know, because that's kind of cool, man. Cheers to you. In terms of trade Carr or Waller for a first-rounder, I mean, you're not going to get a first-round pick for Derek Carr. You're not going to get a first-round pick for Darren Waller. So, yeah, they're going to if you wanted to trade for Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson, that's 5 first-round picks and Derek Carr and Darren Waller. Let's go to Andreas and Ventures. RIP takeoff. Yep. Migos. Everyone spam RIP down in the comments right now. RIP. Shout out to Takeoff. Shout out to Migos. Let's go to Dinah. What up, Dinah? Carr needs to go, period. He's had 10 seasons, and he's literally just showing us the same results like you said, Mitch. It's insanity. The guy has had so many head coaches. Maybe he is the main problem. And you're right. Maybe he is the main problem. I hate excuses. I am a person who believes people who make excuses, there's a reason why those people have to make excuses. My entire life, I've believed if you work hard, you do the right things, you're going to go where you need to go in life. I believe that. And for Derek Carr, what if it's always been DC's been the problem? What if they've gone through the amount of head coaches that they've gone through because it was on Carr? Like, I get it. He has dealt with a lot of head coaches, a lot of OCs, a lot of this, a lot of that. But the one main variable that has always stayed the exact same in these Raider seasons has been Derek. As far as I'm concerned, if it's been 10 years, which we're going on year 10 almost, that's where you got to make a change. And changes aren't always a bad thing. Because as far as I'm concerned, people are like, oh, who's going to be the quarterback? I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, you're 2-5. If you're 2-5, if you just get a different quarterback, you can only go what? You're going to be 1-6. There's not much difference. If anything, you get better draft capital. 2-5 is one of the worst places to be because you don't have a top 5 pick and you're still bad. So, yeah, I'm on board with it. If Derek plays this bad for the rest of the season, you have to move on from him. You have to.
You're in NFL purgatory.
Let's go to Birdman Group. Yes, purgatory. Weren't we a top 5 offense before getting shut out? Makes that shutout even more aggravating. We're better than this. Dream we bet. Wait, so you had a dream where we beat the Jags 34-17. Remember that score right there. I definitely going to keep that in mind. From a statistical standpoint, the Raiders were top 3 in the NFL with points per game behind only the Chiefs and the Bills. However, okay, and that's considering how up and down this Raiders offense has been, which I'll say I was kind of surprised to see those numbers, learn those numbers. There's still a lot of area for growth, though. Like, there are still a lot of areas for growth. And yes, it's the offense has done well running the football. At the beginning of the season, if I would have told you Jacobs is running the football the way he is, you'd say we'd be the number one team in the NFL right now. You'd say we have the number one offense. But the offense, the passing game, has been bad. Let's call it how it is. The Raiders' passing game this season has not been good. That's a fact. Let's go to uncomparable. If Carr is traded, where's the best fit for him?
You give a team, I'll give a team.
All right, so first off, again, Derek Carr, no trade clause, which means if he were to be traded, he would have to approve the trade. I don't necessarily believe that DC, when he says, I'd rather retire than be a Raider, you got millions of dollars on the table. I'm not going to believe that. Plus, I know somebody close to that situation that also doesn't think that that's true whatsoever. Besides that, though, the team to me that I would say that he would try to go to, this might be an unpopular opinion, I'd probably say Houston, where his brother went. I mean, when you hear Derek talk about the Texans, you can tell that the Texans mean a lot to that family. I would say Houston. What would you say?
I was thinking another direction. I'm from Houston. I don't know. That's the reason why they didn't draft Derek Carr, was because of David Carr.
But the Carr family loves the Texans.
Yeah, that I get that. But I don't know if that's really reciprocated that much, because
maybe not.
I'm telling you, they were looking at Derek Carr, and Texans fans literally bullied them into not drafting him because David Carr left such a bad taste in their mouth.
That was then. The other reason why I think it's a possibility is because of connections. I would make the argument the general manager that Dave Ziegler has the best relationship with outside of New England is Nick Caserio in Houston, because those guys worked so many years together. So if you're going to waive your no-trade clause, I bet you Caserio would be like, hey, we'll pay you all this money, we'll make it happen.
So my first instinct was Indy, but I actually think he would fit a lot better in another situation, and I think he would actually make this team good if he went to the Commanders.
Commanders would be interesting. I could also say Indianapolis would be interesting from a quarterback need perspective. Yeah, I'll stick with my answer and say Houston, but both of those teams could use a quarterback. Yep. Let's go to Raider Rob 1969. We can have a Madden team, but if you have a coach that doesn't know how to use them correctly, then you're a fuzzball. Off with Josh's head, Lord Mitch. I think you're seeing this more and more in the NFL. The NFL is such a team game. It really, really, truly is. And when you don't have a team out there, that's when people start to struggle. And you're bringing up a good point. You see it in all sports in today's game. Like even the NBA. The NBA, you can put all these amazing players around each other. The Nets are the perfect example, who just fired their head coach today, Steve Nash, or they decided to part ways. But you had an incredible lineup there, and those guys didn't play together as a team. Guess what? You lose games in team sports. Let's go to C. Ryder. If Mark Davis lets McDaniels build this team, he will set this team back for years to come. I don't disagree with you. In fact, I've said multiple times, the sooner you get rid of Josh McDaniels, the sooner the better.
Yep. Also, about 10 minutes away from the trade deadline. That also means 10 minutes left for our deal. One-time deal. I don't know if we're ever going to do this again. $300 for a three-way boot race. Me, Mitch, and Abby. 3 boots for $300. I don't know if it's going to happen. You got 10 minutes left to do it.
I'm nervous.
I don't think we're ever going to offer that again. So, Lord Mitch, Jeremy Chuggs, I'm a peasant. I'm a squire. Squire Chuggs, and Lady Abby.
Raider Ray just said, just became a lord. That's what's up.
That's lit.
C. Ryder, cheers to you, bro. Let's go to the next super chat coming in here. What do we got? Tyler S. Why are the Raiders not making any moves? I mean, they're a 2-5 team. We have to understand that. I'm not saying that they didn't try.
David, if it won't let you super chat, you have Mitch's Venmo. We'll take that as well.
Oh, David.
David. We'll take that as well.
Yeah, of course I will. It's just David's on scares the hell out of me.
If you're trying, it won't let you do that. Just type in Venmo in there. If you do it, we'll look. If it's before 3 o'clock, we're gonna do a 3-way boot race.
Yikes. I just think they're a 2-5 team. I do think that they tried to trade away some of these other players, but making a trade go down isn't easy. Also, the NFL, just like for whatever reason in all these other sports, trades roll in even after the deadline. Like, that's why Jeremy and I, like on our shot clock, are always like, all right, we'll let the fax machine roll in, because there'll be trades that'll come in 15, 20 minutes after. So just keep that in mind. Let's go to the M. Gosha 11. The sooner we move on from Carr, the better for us. If you plan on sticking with McDaniels and Carr still plays the way he's been, it's not good. However, I've seen people calling for Jarrett Stidham. That doesn't make sense to me. Jarrett Stidham is not better than Derek Carr. I'm sorry. Does not make sense. Do not think it's that way. No. Derek Carr is better than Jarrett Stidham. He gives you a better chance to win. Let's go to the next super chat rolling in here on the Raiders Report. Devin Johnson, trade Carr. What would you get for him right now? 3rd-round pick? Would you trade Carr for a 3rd-round pick right now? That's what you get for him. I'd rather hang on to DC. I would. As angry as I am with Carr at times, I would rather hang on to DC. GJ, even God has given up on Derek Carr. I'm not going to go that far because I know Derek's a religious man, so I'm not going to go there. Let's go to Rogue Elite 7 Gaming. If we don't make any moves, staff proves they're not in win now mode. Zero reason why we shouldn't be aggressive for the next 20 minutes. Let Raider Nation down. Well, now we're down to 8 minutes, so
8 minutes left. Trade deadline and boot race.
I wanted to see them get a deal done. I really did. Even if it meant trading away a player, because then you get an extra draft pick. Like, there are a lot of players on this team that I'm going to guarantee you will not be back next season. If you can at least get something, I think getting something is better than getting nothing. Rogue Elite 7 Gaming, cheers to you, bro. Next super chat coming in from Eric. Boot race. We need help on the D-line and O-line. We need to do something. You need help in the trenches. The Raiders, to me, have done a good job run blocking, much better job than what I thought was going to happen. However, they have struggled in pass blocking situations. And because of that, Derek, to me, doesn't seem like he has any confidence in his offensive line to protect him, which that's a problem. Now, on your defensive line, that's a whole other issue. You could make the argument that the Raiders have the worst D-line in the NFL, and that's with Max Crosby, who's a top 5 defensive end in the NFL. That's how bad the other pieces are there. Let's go to Richard. Honestly, I want to see what Stidham can do. I don't blame you for wanting to see what he can do. I get the fact that the Raiders went 4-0 in the preseason, but Jarrett Stidham is not better than Derek Carr. Stidham might be able to execute McDaniels' offense better, but Stidham, even when he was in New England, was bad. Was not good. So for that reason, I don't need to see Stidham. Your future is invested in Derek Carr. There are $110.68 million invested in Carr the next 3 years. You got to make sure that that money's going to be well spent. And the only way to do that is let this season play out. You let Derek finish it out. Unless you can upgrade. Stidham's not an upgrade. Let's go to Nick. Let's say Carr is truthful and will only play for the Raiders. Would you then cut him, draft someone, but bring back Carr on a cheap deal? I think those are your two options, honestly. Your option A is you cut DC if he's not willing to come back on a cheaper deal. If he is willing to come back on a cheaper deal, you bring him back. You let Derek and then that new quarterback learn the system from McDaniels. You let DC be the starter, and then if your new guy, depending where you draft him, succeeds Derek, then that's how that goes down. But if Derek wants to make money, I would say, hey, DC, you're going to have to take a cheaper deal, homie. If not, see you later. We're going to save 110.68, invest that in some other ways. Let's go to Ulysses. Sure was. Free dart pass hookup for Lord Mitch. Hey, I'll hold you to that, Ulysses. It's funny. I was walking to work today, and I saw somebody in a yellow vest, and I looked at him for a second, and I'm like, I wonder if that was – now I know, Ulysses. I was like, I wonder if that's him. And he didn't make eye contact with me, so I don't know. But I might hold you to that. Free dart pass hookup for Lord Mitch. All right. Jay Reezy. Lord Mitch, please go coach the Raiders. I'm sure you do a better job, Your Highness. Do it for the nation. If they offered me a contract, I would absolutely consider it, right? I mean, you'd be stupid not to. Here's the thing, though. I do think I could lead men. I bet you, though, there's a few Raiders players on that team that probably don't like me, though. So, in the best case for the nation, if they wanted to hire me in a different role.
Oh! Drive-in! Bang!
Y'all are about to see something go down that has never happened before
Abby,
in
get in
Raiders
here!
report history. A 3-man
Drive-in!
Tri-van. Holy shit.
And me and Mitch said we would do a boot for 1,000. So we're doing a 3-person boot race.
A 3-person boot race. Hang on, I got to add Tri-van.
Yeah, I said like 30 minutes ago.
I got to add Tri-van to the list here of our Boot Hall of Fame. Friendly reminder, every single $100 super chat that we get,
I thought you were posing for a picture with me. Huh?
every single 100 super chat we get, you get put on the Boot Hall of Fame. So
Oh, my goodness.
I actually didn't think that this was going to happen. Yeah, you're right. Someone does need a video.
Tri-van is like when you see the bat signal in the air, and they're like, Batman, we need you. Tri-van just comes down just like on his, I don't even know. What does Batman use? His little rope.
Does he? See, Tri-van, I don't know. I just picture him pulling up in a really sick, whipped-out van. Like the Scoob-mobile on steroids.
Oh, my God.
Tri-van, I can't even believe. Miguel Flores said, way to go, Tri-van. Every single person.
Spam Tri-van. Tri-van, you got to become a Lord so we can call you Lord Tri-van.
The Buffalo Bills just traded for a running back. You guys aren't going to like this. The Buffalo Bills just traded for running back. I'm just kidding with y'all. Colts, Nyheim Hines. So there was a report that came out earlier in the week that Nyheim Hines was on the trade block. And Nyheim Hines now is headed to Buffalo. If anybody can add a running back in fantasy real quick, if Nyheim Hines is available, you go add that dude ASAP Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
Nyheim Hines to the Bills. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, a 2-man and 1-woman boot race.
I was going to say, you better phrase that.
A 2-man and 1-woman boot race.
A 3-human being race.
Yep.
It's a boot race.
It's a 3-human being race.
9 beers. 30 seconds. Oh, man. This is about to get insane.
Lord Tri-van sounds like a Star Wars character.
Lord Tri-van does sound like a character. All right, y'all. We are...
We're about to get wild.
Oh, man. We'll see here. This is crazy. All right, Jeremy. Once we get to the final minute of the NFL trade deadline, we are at the final minute of the NFL trade deadline. Shot clock is on. Every 10-minute super chat, or $10 super chat that comes in, shot a fireball. The clock is officially on.
Drew Baca, we have seen what Carr brings, not enough. Bye. Yeah.
Drew, Nikola Tesla. It's now Lord Johnny Walker. We need to plant our trees, build a pirate ship, put Josh McDumbass on it, and make him walk the plank. Patriot imposter.
Mitch, that's a shot.
Where? Adrian.
Hi, Mitch. I'm over DC. I know it's a new offense, but come on, man. What's QBs in the next year's draft we can get and would be a good fit? We're going to be talking about that in one of our segments coming up on the show, Adriano. So stay tuned. Next minute, $10. Every $10 is a Mitch shot.
Oh, man. One down. Coming up is a boot. 3 boots. 3 boots here on the Raiders Report. This is insane.
3 boots of beer on the wall.
To be honest with you,
3 boots of beer.
When Abby first said it, I was like, we're not going to get that today. And then you said it, I was like, oh, shit, this might happen. And I was like, man, we got 3 minutes left. Tri-van. I just feel like Tri-van was just sitting there. Lord Trivan.
And here we go. Ryan Bass, if Raiders make 0 trades, which, I mean, it looks like they're not, it's 3 o'clock right now. So if the Raiders, doesn't look like they're going to make the trade, the nation should blackmail them, shows they have 0 loyalty to their fan base.
No trades for the Raiders today. It sounds like, according to reports...
Oh, we got a couple coming in!
Jesus. Sounds like, according to reports, that there were a few talks being made. I don't know if the Raiders were buyer or sellers. However, no deals end up getting done. I got 2 more shots I got to do. Love the live shows. Feel like I'm chilling with the boys. Aaron, hell yeah, man. I mean, that's what we try to do. Man, we just try to hang out and have a good time. I think also talking Raiders is, like, I told somebody the other day I like talking Raiders, and they were like, what do you mean talking Raiders? I mean, like, if I sit down with a bunch of people and I talk about the Las Vegas Raiders, if I could figure out how to, like, just, like, find a bar where that's possible, I would do that every weekend. I love talking about this team, but I also love talking to people and then hearing their ideas, right? Like, the part that I love about this show is, like, when Super Chats come in, I can at least have that conversation. I can at least see what you guys are thinking, what you guys are saying, and go from there. Also, Kareem Hunt, he's going to stay in Cleveland. But no deals get done. But, Aaron, cheers to you, bro. Hang on, I got one more shot I got to do here. You're good. Who's it from? FAB, get jacked up before dinner with mommy-in-law. Yeah, I told y'all I wasn't going to get too drunk because I got dinner with Alex's mom. But we'll see. We'll see. No trades for the Raiders today. That's depressing. All right, y'all. I want somebody to get a video of this. So somebody right now, screen record this, post it somewhere, get someone. I want a video of this. Trizzy, here, use my phone.
All right, so we have Lord Mitchell Rins. I'm going to need you to scoot your boot over a little bit. Lady Abby. And Squire Chubbs. I'm not good enough to get a lordship, so I'm just simply a squire.
Or any ship, for that matter. All right, y'all. So everybody spam
You got a lord, lady, and a joker.
a jester. Yep.
A jester.
So the reason what you guys are watching right now is Tri Van sent in a $300 super chat. We put out an offer out there that said, hey, $300 super chat, Abby does a boot, and then as the NFL trade deadline winded down, we said we would do a boot race.
Guys, stop calling me a baddie in the chat.
So we would do a boot race
That's really not cool.
for a $300 super. He's engaged, everyone.
Dude, chill out.
Jesus.
Relax.
So we're going to do a boot race here.
Not a piece of meat.
I already said I think I'm going to come in last. Chugs, I believe he'll come in first. Abby's going to be two. Abby, I don't know if I've done a boot in under 20 seconds in a month. I've done a lot of boots in my day. I just don't know if I got it in me. So here's what we're going to do. Let us know who you got. Type L for Lord, type Lady, and then type J for Jester.
Lord, lady, or jester? Who you got?
Let us know down there in the chat right now. Also, again, major shout out to Tri-Van. So
I think the only way we start this is with a boot cheers.
a boot
well.
cheers? You want us to do a boot cheers? All right, y'all. I know, I'm kind of worried. That's true. You guys ready?
Worked out last time.
Boot race, here we go. Cheers. Here we go.
Abby with a little drippage. And Mitch is chugging it. There you go.
3 beers down the hatch.
Make me a lord.
Make me a bicycle clown. All right.
I shall pillage your land.
All right, now go clean that for Abby and I. Oh, man. I'll tell you what. I just want you all to know that 3 beers in under 20 seconds, I'm getting booed right now. For Abby to do a boot in under 20 seconds is incredible. For Chugs to do it in under 10 seconds is insane. Oh, man. That was rough. Jose Hernandez, Mitch, a harder L than the Raiders on Sunday. Yeah, we want that to keep the scent. It's got to smell like Bud Light. All right, y'all. No trades go down at the deadline. All right, so the Bills are trading running back Zach Moss and a 6th-round pick. That's going to go to a 5th-rounder to the Colts and running back Naheem Hines. Interesting. Oh, man. All right,
now
y'all.
call me Lord Chuggington of Chugstown.
Whew, boy. I'm hurting.
If you don't know where Chugstown is, it's located right in the middle of Raider Nation.
I mean, I hope so. All right, y'all, so we got a brand new sponsor, Established Titles. If you've been wondering what the hell are we talking about with all this lord and lady talk. So I bought a plot of land, 1 foot by 1 foot in Scotland, and now I can officially be called Lord Mitchell. I can put it on plane tickets. I can put it on my driver's license. If you buy something with your name, just like some people want to go by Dr. Chugs, I can now officially go by Lord Mitchell Renz. And y'all can too. So we do have a brand new sponsor. Let me tell you about them for a little bit here. You can grab a plot of Scottish land right next to me and hopefully soon next to Chugs. We got about 200 spots available. So you got to go to the link that you see below there. It's establishedtitles.com/chat. And the Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global restoration efforts. It is a project based on historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with an inquiry plot number on a private estate in Scotland and an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities on tree planted and trees for the future to support global restoration efforts. You can officially record the title Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane ticket, dating profile, etc. It makes a great last-minute gift. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using the link that y'all see below at establishedtitles.com/chat get to be walking distance from me. What I'm trying to do here is build a nation. I want to build a Raiders Report nation in Scotland. And a future goal of mine, I'm telling y'all right now, a future goal of mine is for Jeremy Chugs and I to set a date in 2 years from now, and we go visit this plot of land. How sick would that be? That would be That's honestly what it makes me think of at times. Dude, that would be. I'll say this: if we go, we just gotta have a. I was gonna say we should have a sword fight. Out of context, that sounds weird. We're not gonna do that, but we will have a good time at Scotland. Oh man, that's funny. All right, y'all. Again, you can get started with us here with our brand new sponsor at establishedtitles.com/chat. Also, because it's like a Black Friday deal, you can actually save up to 80% off. So just click on that link and see the deal.
I'll put it in the chat one more time for y'all.
Yeah, it's gonna hit you guys with a timetable. Oh, you gotta get a deal. You gotta do this by 60 seconds or else. There you go.
I thought you said it was 60 seconds.
60 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, the boot hit. The boot's hit.
Guys, we're going to get into our main show now that the NFL trade deadline's over. But first, can we get another 100 likes for another wheel spin before we start the show?
I'm down with that. So we went live for the NFL trade deadline. If you thought the only reason why we went live is for the deadline, you're very, very wrong. We have a lot of NFL or a lot of Raiders rumors that we got to cover here. We're going to talk about Derek Carr, Josh McDaniels. I don't know why you're laughing.
David's on.
What David's on said.
It's blocked.
Yep. David. YouTube blocked your comment, David. I'm going to read it out loud. I don't really care. Actually, I don't think I can. David, I can't read that out loud,
All right,
bro.
50 more likes, and we can start the show.
I wish I could read that out loud, Zon. $100 super chat, Zon. I'll read out what you just typed in. So, here's the thing. We're going to get into some Raiders rumors. We're going to talk about Derek Carr, Josh McDaniels. We're going to talk about the 2023 NFL Draft. Then we're going to do a mailbag. So, keep in mind for that so you can use hashtag Raiders or super chat. What I want you guys to think about the show right now is like my normal Tuesday show. We go live usually every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, and now essentially is when we would do that, okay? Rumors, mailbag, and then you're going to get a segment. You're going to get a segment that says Derek Carr replacements. Don't hate me for it, but that's what you're going to get. A Derek Carr replacements video. I'll tell you what, though, that NFL trade deadline, that was wild. Here are some of the big names that got dealt in the last 2 weeks, essentially. Christian McCaffrey, Bradley Chubb, Calvin Ridley, Roquan Smith, T.J. Hawkinson, Chase Claypool, Kadarius Toney, Robert Quinn, Naheem Hines, Jeff Wilson, James Robinson, Chase Edmonds, Zach Moss, Will Jackson, Jacob Martin. 15 trades. However, none were going to happen.
We were told that there was going to be no trades today.
Oh, man.
25 likes away from starting our show.
Wild. Wild, wild, wild. Sounds like a lot of teams tried to make deals happen. Raiders were one of them. No deals came through, though. No deals came through. All right, Jeremy, we are 20 likes away from spinning that wheel.
And then we get to start.
And then we're going to start the show. So here's the thing. I want to spin the wheel one more time, and then we're going to get the show started. So we got 1,500 people watching right now. Shout out to the nation. Probably some of the most diehard fans out there. Some of the craziest SOBs that I've ever seen. Major shout out to Tri-Van, today's MVP. Jeremy, I was just going to say, spin that wheel. What do we got? What do we got? Everyone.
Everybody drink.
This is my last sip in this one. I'm probably a few Fireball shots in. 2 Trulies and, that tasted like Bud Light. About 3 Bud Lights
I'll give you all a better one.
What? Ooh, with your left hand too? That's talent.
I was actually sitting on my hand before I did that.
I learned a lot about you there in the
It
last 10
didn't
seconds.
even feel like I was drinking. It felt like somebody else was drinking.
It felt like somebody else was putting something in my mouth. All right, guys, coming up now here on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into the latest Raiders news and rumors. If you want to get your questions, comments on the show, you can use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. I will say Super Chat's probably the easiest way and the way that you can guarantee a spot on the show. And then you're going to get some Derek Carr replacements. I've asked or answered a lot of questions. Yes, Raider, Moret, pause, 100%. I've answered a lot of questions around Derek Carr today, and I'm going to give you some of the most realistic, some of the best replacements that you can have for DC in 2023 if he continues to play bad. Okay, so I'm not replacing him right now, so please keep that in mind. So Jeremy Chugs is ready. I'm ready to get into today's show. Hopefully y'all are ready to rock and roll with us, nation. If y'all are ready, spam Raiders right now down in the chat. Get Raiders going in the chat. So you just saw Jeremy drink with his left hand. Now you're seeing that motion. Jeremy is newly engaged, and I know why. Here we go. Get them going in the chat. Raiders, James, Raul, Paulo, Rusty, T, Date, Zach, Isha, Carlos, Dave, Tyler, PG, Jax, Christopher, Juan Hernandez. Coming up right now here on the Raiders Report, the latest Raiders news and rumors. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. And coming up here on today's show, we're going to get into the latest news and rumors around the Las Vegas Raiders after the NFL trade deadline. We're going to talk about Derek Carr. We're going to talk about Josh McDaniels. We're going to look at the 2023 NFL Draft. And then I think we should run through some of the big-time trades that happened today in the NFL. Unfortunately, none for the Raiders. Let's talk about the very first one, Josh McDaniels. He's not getting fired. This one is for just win babies. Believe it, baby. I get it. I have said, fire Josh McDaniels. I'm allowed to be upset. I'm allowed to have an opinion, but you got to be able to face the facts here. McDaniels isn't going anywhere. Mark Davis this week said, McDaniels is our head coach and will be for years to come. And if you've watched the show for a long time, despite my displeasure for McDaniels, I have always said that you're going to get 3 years. 1 this year and 2 more. When you look at a lot of the Raiders' new contracts, a lot of the extensions that they gave out, when you look at the numbers and the way that they have breaks in them, it shows that it's a 3-year window. The Davante Adams contract is the perfect one. It's a 5-year, $140 million deal. However, the first 3 years, he's making $22.5 million, and then there's a cutoff. The Raiders can then get out of that deal and save $72 million, or you can pay Davante $40 million for his final 2 years. That deal alone should show you that it is a 3-year window. So we knew this was the plan, but that doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to go on Instagram, sit here up on the Raiders Report, or go on Twitter and say that I don't want McDaniels as our head coach. I never wanted him to begin with. If you've watched the show, if you follow me, or for any point in time, I have not been afraid to say that I believe Josh McDaniels is a spineless man who will never lead the Raiders to where they want to go. I hope I'm wrong in saying that. And if I am wrong, that means good things for the Raiders. I will take Raiders W's over my L's every single day of the week. But I don't like Josh McDaniels. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm allowed to say fire him. But I also know that it's not going to happen. So here's my question to the nation. Do you believe in Josh McDaniels? We're going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. You can spam your Y for yes. You can spam your N for no. If you're saying yes, man, you are definitely the most glass half full person that I have never met. Let me know. Y for yes or N for no. My take is no. I don't believe in McDaniels. I wanted Brian Daboll. The Giants are 6-2. Do you know why? Because Brian Daboll is not only a great head coach, he's a leader. He's a leader of men. And Rich Bisaccia wasn't a great head coach last season. He wasn't. But that team played for him. That effort that I saw this past Sunday against the Saints told me all the Raiders players quit on Josh McDaniels. You know why? Because he's never been able to get along with people. He might be the smartest guy in the room, but if you can't connect with other human beings, your message is never going to get across. Here's what Tyler Polumbus, who played under Josh McDaniels in Denver, had to say about McDaniels. Every single day began with a 10-minute bad football reel from the day before where he would dog cuss you and your coach for any bad play from the practice 24 hours ago. He set the tone for a real positive day in front of the entire team. After the season, I had an exit interview with my coach. That's McDaniels. He spent 10 minutes telling me everything I sucked at, but then looked so depressed and miserable that when he was done, I didn't care what he said about my play. I was concerned for him. Remember in my show a few days ago when I said, literally, when I look at Josh McDaniels on the sideline, he looks like a sad puppy. He looks like someone who just had he was a little kid who had their toy stolen from him. That's the face Chuck gives me when I take away a treat, when I take away his bone. That's the face that he gives me. You know why? Because McDaniels right now acts like a spoiled little brat that doesn't know how to fix anything on the sideline. So I get that Mark Davis wants to stick with McDaniels. And realistically, if you stick with a head coach for a long time, that's good. That means you're winning games. But if players don't want to play for him, then what? If your star players, Mark, who you are giving millions of dollars for and expecting Raider fans to pay all this type of money to go watch these players, but those players don't want to play for McDaniels, there's not a single Raider fan out there going to an Allegiant game, going to any Raider game saying, oh, I want to watch Josh McDaniels. No, they want to go watch Josh Jacobs. They want to watch Derek Carr. They want to watch Devontae Adams, Max Crosby. And if those guys don't want to play for that head coach, how can you sit up in front of everyone and say, that's the guy? That's a shame to you. The only way that you can get across for me that there's any chance Josh McDaniels, maybe he's a Lord. But guess what? Josh McDaniels ain't no Lord. In fact, I'm a Lord, and it's official. Hell, I could put this on a driver's license right now if I wanted to. Lord Mitchell Renz. If you don't believe me, it's a real thing, and y'all can become lords or ladies too by going to EstablishedTitles.com/chat. I'll tell you what, y'all, I've had a lot of sponsorships. This one might be the wildest, so buckle up. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global restoration efforts. It is a project based on historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. They're then going to plant a tree with every order, work with global charities on tree planting and trees for the future to support global restoration efforts. You can officially include the title Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane ticket, dating profiles, whatever you want. It makes a great last-minute gift, and the first 200 people that purchase a title using my link that y'all can see down there below right now at the link down there below, you guys can also get the hookup here at EstablishedTitles.com/chat. I'm trying to build a Raider Nation. I am trying to build a nation together. I already got my plot of land, so if y'all want to come with me here, giggity, you can join me. It's a wild thing. There's no doubt about it. But if you ever sat up there and, like, when I asked my dad, what do you want for Christmas? Mom, what do you want for Christmas? If you got a difficult friend to buy something for, this is a hell of a gift where you're like, yo, you can go as a Lord and Lady. I'm telling you right now, if I was single again, I would put Lord Mitchell Renz on my dating profile. You know why? It's an easy conversation starter. It's a fun little gift, but it's also for a great cause. Major shout out to our brand new sponsor, Established Titles. Get started with them today. That link's going to be available for you all in the description and in the comment section, EstablishedTitles.com/chat. Let's go to the next rumor here on the Raiders Report. If the struggles continue, is Derek Carr out? And I mean out in 2023. It's 4 just win, babies. Believe it, baby. If Derek continues to play as bad as what he's played this season, there is not a situation where I can sit up here and tell you that he deserves to come back. Now, maybe Derek decides to say, hey, I want to come back for a cheaper contract. That's a different conversation. But at the type of money that he wants to be paid, no, you can't do that. McDaniels was stuck with Derek Carr. Derek's not his quarterback. Didn't draft him. Didn't come. Like, he didn't handpick him. Derek Carr was put on McDaniels' lap. Mark Davis, as we just showed you, committed. Okay? Committed to Daniels long term. There's a reason why Carr doesn't have guarantees in his contract after this year. When I show you these numbers here, okay, this is essentially what DC is going to make, or the money that you would save if he's cut. The Raiders would save $29.25 million in 2023. 40.13, 41.3. The number that you see in parentheses is if you cut Derek Carr in 2023, that's how much money you save. If you cut him in 2024, that's how much money you save. Cut him in 2025, there you go, so on and so forth. So the reason why Derek doesn't have all those guarantees is because they weren't sold on DC. This was a tryout. This season for Derek Carr was a tryout, and if you fail that tryout, what makes you think that they're going to bring you back next season? Now, you might be able to convince me, like, okay, Mitch, they're going to bring back Derek Carr on a cheap contract, let him play, draft a quarterback, and then so on and so forth. But you got to face it, with these numbers right here, with a 2-5 record, there is no scenario in the entire world where you have a quarterback with a losing record who's lost his entire career, who can't fit into a head coaching system, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying it's all on DC, but if he can't fit in McDaniels' system and Mark Davis is already committed to Derek Carr, why are they going to bring him back? Money talks, and it told me that they didn't give him any guaranteed money for the next 3 years. You know why? Because this season is a tryout. If you love the Raiders and you want free videos every single day, then hey, hit that subscribe button. We keep you covered here. And honestly, if breaking news happens, like another trade just went down here for the NFL trade deadline, the Chiefs, they just traded for Falcons cornerback Rashad Fenton minutes after the NFL trade deadline. You probably didn't know that unless you were subscribed to the show. Now, we do a lot of news. Oh, they traded away Rashad Fenton. That's on me. They traded away Rashad Fenton to the Falcons. I know this, though. I cover this team with my whole heart. I give up off days. I give up holidays. You know where I'm going to be for Christmas? Here. Christmas Eve? Here. You know why? Because I love y'all very, very much. Now, when you look at some of these quarterback ranks here for Carr this season, he's 24th in the NFL in completion percentage, 19th in yards, 17th in touchdowns. He's been sacked the 15th most. And then he got a quarterback rating number 18. I tried telling y'all that DC's not a top 10 quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He needs a lot of talent around him. Right now what you're seeing is a bad version of Derek Carr because McDaniels' system doesn't fit him. I wish that McDaniels would try to put a system around Derek Carr instead of trying to force Derek Carr in this offense into McDaniels' system. But unfortunately, that's not what we're being dealt right now. So if Carr can't play in McDaniels' system and they are losing, the Raiders are going to move on. You have to face the facts there. It's not just a Derek Carr problem. McDaniels deserves a lot of blame. But if Mark Davis is going to sit up there and tell you, hey, our back is with McDaniels and he's not going anywhere for years to come, and money talks, and you see $0 million of guaranteed money on Derek's contract over the next 3 seasons, Mark Davis is choosing Josh McDaniels over Derek Carr. And if Derek Carr can't win and he continues to play bad, they're not going to keep him. It's point blank simple. So I want you to be the GM here. Will Derek Carr be on the Raiders in 2023? Will he be the quarterback? I want you to type his number for 4 for yes or 2 for no. 4 for yes in the comments or 2 for no. Let's go to the final story here on the Raiders Report. The Raiders could draft a quarterback in round 1. I'm going to toss up a coin right now, and it's going to land on 2 just win babies. People are talking. I actually do not know if the Raiders should draft a quarterback. You're at the number 6 overall pick right now, so you're kind of in this area where I don't see how the hell you're going to get the C.J. Stroud. I don't see how the hell you're going to get the Bryce Young. Maybe one of those guys slide a little bit. To me, those are the only 2 players worth drafting in the top 6. I'll be point blank honest with you. Those are the only 2 quarterbacks that I would draft in the top 6. C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young. But when I look at the fact that the Raiders are number 6 team, and then the top 2023 quarterback draft prospects, I think Hendon Hooker, for what he's been able to do this season, you can make an argument he has impressed me more than any other quarterback in all of college football. He took down Alabama. Tennessee has a lot less talent than Ohio State and Alabama. The issue with Hooker is, though, he's 26 years old. He's already older than Tua Tagovailoa. He's older than Justin Herbert. And at 26, I get it. It's not old to some people. But when you draft quarterbacks, there's that learning curve. If the learning curve's already there and then you're 28 years old, it's kind of a hard selling point. Will Levis has all the arm talent in the world, but I'm not 100% sold on him. Personally, if I knew Will Levis, I'd say go back to college football. Get another year underneath your belt. Go play in the SEC again. So could they draft a quarterback? Yes. If one of these 2 guys slides, I'm going to be pounding on the table to go get a Bryce Young, to go get a C.J. Stroud. The issue is you're at number 6 right now. I don't know if it makes a lot of sense. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into some NFL trade deadline coverage in terms of some of the deals that went down today. And I'm only going to go through, I believe, the deals that went down today. The first deal that went down today was the Lions. They shipped off T.J. Hawkinson to the Minnesota Vikings in a deal that just point blank, I believe that Minnesota won. The next deal that went down, we'll try to roll through these rather quickly. The Bears, they got Chase Claypool. This is a deal I think both sides win. If George Pickens steps up for Pittsburgh, it's a good deal for both sides. If not, the Bears win. Another deal, William Jackson. I would have loved to have William Jackson. There was a report that came out that said if the Commanders were unwilling to trade or unable to trade Jackson, they would just cut him. Pittsburgh said, hold my beer, we'll take William Jackson. They got it for cheap, but they are going to have to pay him a lot of money. The Dolphins, they got Bradley Chubb. This might have been the biggest trade of the day. Personally, where Chubb goes to Miami, you got a 5th-round pick in here. The Dolphins win this trade now. I also think, though, the fact that Denver got another 1st-round pick back after the whole debacle of what Russell Wilson has been, this is a good trade for both sides. Dolphins win now, Broncos win next year. Another trade, Dolphins weren't done. Jeff Wilson Mike McDaniels, the old running back coach in San Francisco, which is why I think that this deal ended up getting done. The Jags, this is a big surprise. Calvin Ridley, the first rounder out of Alabama, who is suspended technically indefinitely. Now, he can't get back on, or he can't apply for reinstatement, I believe, until February 23rd of 2023. But for the time being, Calvin Ridley goes to the Jags for future draft picks. And the reason why it says future draft picks, it's because it can literally be like a 5th-round conditional pick all the way up to a 2nd-round pick. Like, there's just all these different barriers that come down to it. A lot of stipulations. So that's that trade. Another trade that went down here for Denver, Jacob Martin goes to the Broncos. Jets get a 2024 4th-round pick. And then one of the teams that scared me in terms of trading for Josh Jacobs was the Buffalo Bills. They, in fact, make a trade. It wasn't, though, for a running back, or it was for a running back, not Jacobs. Naheem Hine, he goes to Buffalo. Colts, they get Zach Moss and a conditional 6th-round pick. The Falcons and the Chiefs, they made a trade. Rashad Fenton, he goes to Atlanta. The Chiefs get a conditional 7th-round pick. And then another trade just went down 30 minutes after the NFL trade deadline has ended. Bills safety Dean Marlowe from the Falcons in exchange for a 2023 7th-round pick. Trade's still going down. Here's the thing, y'all. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, if you haven't turned on your notifications, please make sure you do so. We try to keep you up to date with everything going on around the silver and black. Jeremy Chuggs and I were live for almost 3 hours here at this point. Tri-Van made us do a 3-man or 2-man, 1-woman boot race. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Jeremy Chuggs. We always try to keep you guys up to date, and we're going to continue to rock and roll. Even if the Raiders struggle, we will always, and I mean always, try to bring that excitement. I hope you really, truly know that. So, hit that sub button. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, we're getting ready to get into a mailbag. Before we get into a mailbag, I want to know from you, I would rather have blank than Josh McDaniels. I would rather have a Klondike bar than
I was
Josh
just
McDaniels.
about to say that.
Were you?
I was literally.
So, funny story. And usually Jeremy and I get into our funny stories on Thursday Night Football. Clelin said a shit on a shingle. So, the other day I said, Alex, would you rather have a Klondike bar? She kind of looked at me. She didn't really know what it was. I have a video on my phone. She thought this whole time it was Klondike. And I asked her to spell it in a video. I have the video proof. She goes, K-R. And I'm like, oh my God.
You're like,
well,
no.
Klondike bar.
You're like, no, honey.
No.
That's like Marshall in our office. We had a whole debate, and I had to tell him he was calling it Tupperware.
Tupperware.
Tupperware. It's Tupperware.
Tupper. Yeah.
It's a
I
P.
mean, I used to always say.
I'd rather have COVID than Josh McDaniels.
I used to always say play it by year. I didn't know it was play it by ear. My whole life I said play it by year. 2 years ago, I found out it was play it by ear.
Matthew said a Ford Pinto.
Michael, yikes. David Zahn, chill. Mike Tomlin. I mean, these. So, as you're seeing right now, there's a mix between outlandish shit and realistic answers, which is why I love the nation. Sean Payton is a good answer.
A vasectomy.
I only know one person in this office that has a vasectomy.
I'm not going to say who he is.
He does have 3 kids, though. So, let me know. What would I rather have than Josh McDaniels? He also said no trades were going to happen today.
Yep. he swore by it.
He really did. He really did, man. All right, y'all. Here's what we're going to do. We're about to get in now to a Raiders Report mailbag.
Y'all crazy.
So start getting those hashtag Raiders in right now, our Super Chat. Every single Super Chat that we get, we will put on the show. What you're going to see is right where it says mailbag time, got a question, all that. Your questions, your comments will be featured on the show no matter what. No matter what. So we're going to answer y'all's questions for the next 15 minutes or so. And then the way that we're going to wrap up today's show, Derek Carr replacements. It's going to be an interesting one. I hope y'all are ready for
Whatever you say, Lord Mitch.
A really hot beer from Brian Hill. Oh my God.
Like, just like a super...
Imagine putting a beer, like I'm talking like a light beer, like a Bud Light in the microwave, 2 minutes, letting it get hot and drinking it like a hot cocoa. That sounds terrible. I mean, that sounds terrible,
That
Aaron.
sounds like a throw up.
That doesn't sound good whatsoever. All right, guys. Here we go. You ready?
I don't want it.
You ready to get into a mailbag?
1 second. I just got to move over some locales photos.
Fair enough. You don't really have to. Ernie is like, that'd be bad.
Donovan said he'd rather have poop.
Boiling hot paps. A hot PBR. Oh my God.
How big of a super chat for you to drink a microwaved beer?
On today's show, I would drink a microwaved beer today.
We have a microwave. We have coffee mugs.
I'll say this: we're 400 away from 1,500. If we can get if we get 400 more, doesn't have to be a single 400. If we can get up to 1,500, I'll do a microwave beer. Yep, we'll do that. We'll do that. All right, here we go. A lot of time left. I know. I actually also just thought we only had one segment left. No, we still got 2 more, so that's on me.
That sounds absolutely disgusting.
All right, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Mailbag time. I do have a mean burp to get to, though. 1 second. Hang on.
Good.
Mitch, don't do it. You will puke. I might. It's not going to be pretty. I also found out earlier in the week I also got to do the chip challenge. So there's that too. So we'll probably get you guys the chip.
You and Sam.
I might do the chip challenge on Thursday Night Football. Or both. Sam and I have to do it at the same time. Giggity? I guess that makes the most sense. I'll get the chip. We'll figure it out. A lukewarm Old English 40-ouncer. Yikes. Yikes. All right, guys, here we go. Mailbag time coming up right now here on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here on today's show, I'm answering all of y'all's questions. We went live on Tuesday for the NFL trade deadline. The Raiders did not make any deals, but the nation has a lot of questions. So all the questions you're about to see were recorded on Tuesday, and the first one coming in here is from Jeremy Johnson. I hope we trade Carr. Oh, he embarrasses us in the Super Bowl and LV. All the haters are sad. I'll say this. You're not going to trade Derek. He's got a no-trade clause. Though, Jeremy and I had a discussion earlier. I think the team that he would actually be the most welcoming a trade to, I'll say Houston. Chug said Washington. Indianapolis was thrown out there. But he's got a no-trade clause, so it's probably not going to happen. Let's go to Wyo. What up, man? Rappaport just reported a last-minute trade. Psych. I'll tell you what. I saw that. My heart stopped a little bit. The issue is I got Rappaport on speed dial. Let's go to Paul. Raiders need to fire McDaniels, get 3 more really good defensive players, new defensive coach. Yes, Carr had a bad game, but he has followed coach's game plan. Not his fault. It is his fault. When you're paid the amount of money that Derek Carr is paid, when you're a quarterback in the NFL, it is your fault. The issue is it's not only Derek Carr's fault. McDaniels deserves a lot of blame for the terrible game plan that they constructed to go up against New Orleans. However, yes, you do need to make a lot of defensive acquisitions. I'm talking defensive tackle. You need another cornerback. You need, and personally, in my opinion, another edge rusher. Those would be the first 3 needs that I would address if I'm the Raiders in free agency, which is the only way that you can go right now. Let's go to Sean. What up? Carr deserves to get traded to the Patriots so he can show Raider fans he isn't the problem by spanking our awful defense that can get to the quarter, can't cover. I will say, if he wants to go to New England, he can. I'll take Mac Jones for Derek Carr. I don't think Derek Carr and Mac Jones are that much different of quarterbacks, if I'm being 100% honest with y'all. But DC in New England, what's he going to do there? Their offensive line isn't great. They have worse receivers than the Raiders do. My problem sometimes with Raider fans is, like, they defend Derek Carr so much, which blows my mind. Like, if you watch the games, I just don't understand how after seeing that Saints game that you can have DC's back. I mean, DC was about as bad as it gets. He didn't look – he was missing open guys. He was making bad reads. And sure, some of it needs to go on McDaniels too. No doubt about it. McDaniels deserves the most blame for that loss. But watch the tape. When you watch Derek, he's not a top 10 quarterback. He's not. And anybody who thinks that, I'm sorry, their ability to watch football tape is not good. Sorry. It's the truth. Now, if you love the Raiders here, I want you guys to turn on those notifications. I want you to hit that subscribe button. That way, if any Raiders news does happen, we can keep you up to date. And I am making this video live. A defensive tackle that I've actually had in a video before just got released by the Dallas Cowboys. His name is Tristan Hill, second-round pick in 2019. If the Raiders were to sign him, guess what? We'd go live. We'd make a video about it. Now, people who I know have their notifications turned on. David Blues. Yikes. Miguel, Phil, Alex, and Alex again. Shout out to all of y'all for turning on your notice. If you want to shout out on a future show, hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. Let's go to Max Payne. What up, Max? Who you think is a better replacement for Carr? I'm going to do a Derek Carr replacement video for you watching this live. If you're not watching this live, go check out my Derek Carr replacements video. Voodoo Gunner, if you're come to Scotland, I can show you around, but you better pull on your drinking pants because you will be stepping into the big league of drinking. Well, I will say, they're not the sponsor technically for this exact show, but you know what? I don't care. If y'all want to get your plot of land to become a lord, go to establishedtitles.com/chat. I think we just do it, Jeremy. I say F it. We make them the sponsor here. We let this puppy ride. So, Voodoo, I would love to be able to come to Scotland. And for those of you that are just watching the show right now, maybe you don't 100% understand what I'm talking about. My name now is officially Lord Mitchell Renz. I'm not making it up. I got a plaque right here. Lord Mitchell Renz, and your name could be Lord Voodoo Gunner. So because of our new sponsor, you got to listen to this deal that we got going on right now. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global restoration efforts. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. So you could officially include the title as Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane ticket, dating profiles. It honestly makes as a great last-minute gift. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link, which you guys can see down there below, at establishedtitles.com/chat. You can be right next to me within walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a Lord or Lady, we can build our own little Raider Nation. Now, I have about 200 plots of land that we have sectioned off here for Raider Nation. So essentially the first 200 people that do it, you're going to be right next to me in Scotland. I told Chugs I would love to be able to figure out a trip where we can all go to Scotland at one time, just meet up, have a drink on the land that we got. But this is a real thing. Because of, like, old rules, have you ever, like, looked up, like, old rules, like, in your own state, like it's illegal to sweep dirt underneath the rug in Pennsylvania? I'll never forget that. If you buy land in Scotland at Edelston, you then can become a lord or a lady. It's kind of a wild thing. I'm trying to get Chuck one. Lord Chuck. Sounds pretty good. EstablishedTitles.com/chat. Let's go to the greatness of the Raiders. I was hoping Josh McDaniels would be traded to the Colts. The Raiders would get a 2023. You know, I'll say this. I couldn't believe that the Colts fired their OC today. To me, this was Frank Reich just looking for a scapegoat. The OC for the Indianapolis Colts doesn't even call plays. And he got fired today. That'd be like McDaniels firing the OC for the Raiders' offensive problems. That's how bad that is. Let's go to Eric. Carr has been a scary since he got sacked in the Indy game by Trent Cole in 16. The quarterback that used to play in 2015 and 2016 before the injury, he's gone. He is. He's gone. Do you want Derek Carr on the Raiders next year? Type 4 for yes, or I want you to type 2 for no. Let me know down in the comment section. This next one's coming in from Michael. The Raiders need to focus on what they do best. You are what you are. Bang! Michael from the top rope. Michael is ready to party. And I said that if you're watching this live, I would drink a lukewarm beer. A hot beer. No, a microwave beer. So if you're watching this live, stay tuned. Let's go to David Zahn. I've drank with Mitch. He can drink. I can drink. I mean, I know a lot of people are always like, oh, that Fireball. My favorite is that Fireball is apple juice. Or you guys are drinking, like these aren't real Trulies. I don't like saying that I can drink a lot, but I can. My stomach, the ability that it has to expand, if you haven't noticed, I beat defensive tackle, now plays for the Cowboys, Johnathan Hankins, in an eating competition. I can hold it. I can hold it down. I get drunk. I get really drunk, but I can drink a lot. Let's go to Rudy. What up, bro? McDaniels is soft. He's making us look really bad. Bring back Rich. I don't think Rich is going to be the answer. I think there were other head coaching candidates out there that I would have rather brought in. However, man, McDaniels is soft, and that plays into the reason why I think what you saw this past Sunday against the Saints. When your quarterback's soft, when your head football coach is soft, you got a soft team. A lot of softness. Let's go to Paul. I love my Raiders, but damn, we need to turn things around, Paul. I 100% agree, and if you agree with Paul, spam Real One for Life down in the comments. MFN Flores 760, what up, bro? What do you think about Davis saying we're committed to McDaniels for years? I'm not surprised by it. I've said multiple times on the show that the Raiders are going to give McDaniels 3 years because of the contracts that you've seen. Devontae Adams is the perfect example of that contract. He gets 3 years at 67.5, and then he can make $80 million in the last 2 years, $40 million per. But there's cutoffs in Hunter Renfro's contract. Look at Hunter Renfro's contract, 2-year extension. Darren Waller's contract, technically no guarantees after that 3-year window. Derek Carr doesn't have any guarantees in it whatsoever. Max Crosby, they gave him his money. But when you look at a lot of these high-profile players and their contracts, 3-year window. Josh McDaniels is going to be the Raiders head coach for the next 3 years, unless they literally go like 0-17. I think that's the only way. Let's go to Steven. Facts. Carr doesn't even run anymore since 2016. It's because he can't. He's not a running quarterback. There's at times where I want him to pick up first downs with his legs, but it's his ability or inability to maneuver in the pocket. Carr can only go north and south in the pocket. In today's NFL, if you don't have a quarterback that can roll to his right, roll to his left, escape pressure, you're going to be in trouble. You know why? The NFL puts so much emphasis on edge rushers being able to get after the quarterback. And Derek has terrible pocket awareness. That's a fact. Let's go to Screaming Chicken. Do you think Lamar Jackson is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback? Yes. I've seen him have great moments, but also times he misses wide open passes and crucial plays. Lamar's had his ups and downs already this season. But Lamar Jackson, to me, might be the most athletic quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he's better than Josh Allen. I don't think he's better than Patrick Mahomes. But you're in a division with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. 2 quarterbacks right now that I would say if NFL GMs were polled right now and you could start an NFL team around any quarterback in the NFL, I would say Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert are in every single NFL GM's top 4 because of their talent and because of their arm strength, because of their age. Josh Allen's the only one I would put up in there. Lamar Jackson's also in that conversation. His ability to run, his ability as a passer, and the Ravens have never put anything around him talent-wise. They haven't. You gave Lamar Jackson the amount of talent that this Raiders team has, they're 5-2 at the absolute worst right now. Let's go to Nickel and Dime. Should the Raiders draft Will Levis from Kentucky? I'm going to say no. And the only reason why I say that is because I don't view Will Levis as being ready right now. I don't see Will Levis as being a quarterback that I would want my team to sit behind and say, that's our guy. Now, if you were to keep Derek Carr on a cheaper contract, have Will Levis learn behind DC, that might be a different story. The only QBs that I see right now worth drafting in the first round, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, they're definitely gone within the top 5. Hendon Hooker from Tennessee, he's a hell of a player, but he's 26 years old. Will Levis has all the arm talent. But can you really trust somebody that puts mayo in his coffee and eats bananas with their peels on? I don't know. Who do you want the Raiders to draft as a quarterback in 2023? Or, excuse me, do you want the Raiders to draft a quarterback in 2023? That's the question. Why for yes and for no? If they keep on struggling the way that they are, if you're in the top 5, my answer to that is yes. If you can figure out a way to get Stroud or Bryce Young, I say you do it. If you can't figure out a way to get a guy like that, you got to hope that QBs fall. I mean, the fact that Malik Willis went in the 3rd round, if I can find a Malik Willis in the 3rd round, yes, please. Let's go to Josh Flores. Pickle Rick, what up? With no Raider trades, do you think we will pick up a free agent? I hope. I mean, the Raiders have to, if you want to convince your fan base to pay the ticket prices that you are, if you want to convince your fan base to still show out to Allegiant Stadium, you got to do something. You got to do something. Let's go to Evan JD. Is Magic Johnson going to buy the team? Buy the team? No. Buy stock in the team or buy, I don't know, stake in the team? I believe so. I believe Magic Johnson will be a part-time owner of the Raiders. Let's go to Mikey. Do you think Waller plays this week? Hope so. I sure hope so. I personally am expecting him to play, though I expected him to play last week. Waller was a player that I was worried I was going to get traded because, to me, he doesn't look nearly as motivated as what he has. Body language on and off the field, very, very telling. Doesn't look good for Waller. Here's my question to you, though. Will Darren Waller play in Week 9 versus the Jags? If you think he's going to play, type play. If you think he's going to be out, I want you to type out. Let's go to Steven. Wait 1 year for Caleb Williams. I know y'all like Caleb Williams. I like Caleb Williams too. Are you willing to wait, though? If you're McDaniels, okay? If you're McDaniels, hear me out. Are you willing to wait? Because if you can't win this season with a playoff caliber team, and you don't win next season, that means you have 1 year. Then you're going to put all your chips in your basket on a rookie quarterback? That's a risky move. It's a risky, risky move. Super thanks coming in here from Jose Delgado. Thanks, Mitch. Your show is the best for Raider Nation. Please send me an address to send to Chugs to get you a gift of appreciation. I email you at Chat Sports. I don't have the email at Chat Sports. So how about this, Jose? I want you to message Jeremy on Twitter at Jeremy Chugs, and we'll get you the address. That's the easiest way to do it. I don't know what email you sent it to because you didn't send it to my email. I check my email every day. I didn't get anything. So at Jeremy Chugs, give him a follow on Twitter, and we'll message you, and that way we can get linked up. Let's go to Tyler. Dude, Staley sucks. He's so dumb. He would go with the 4th and 70 at his own 1. Tyler, I appreciate your super chat. Does anyone know what he's talking about? Who's Staley? Brandon Staley of the Chargers over McDaniels. I mean, right now I would at least consider it. Like, McDaniels to me right now is a bottom 5 NFL head coach. He has to be. If it wasn't for Mark Davis, he would be the betting odd favorite to get the can. NFL teams, executives, Raiders, NFL people thought the Raiders were going to be a playoff team, and they've been this bad. Let's go to Blacktimus Prime. Do you think we can swing a trade for Shaq Thompson for the Cardinals? So, again, this is a super thanks. These are that are sent in. They're not super chats. These are people who can't join the show live. Unfortunately, the answer to this is no since the NFL trade deadline is over. But Blacktimus Prime, I appreciate you. Craig Baldwin, another one. DC holds the ball too long. I try not to knock him, but he just isn't mobile enough when a play is breaking down. He tries to force it. Or panics and gets happy feet and falls down. Craig, I agree. The greatness of the Raiders. I like fifth-year senior Dorian Thompson-Robinson, quarterback for UCLA. Ah, man. You know, I've watched film on him. He's a good college quarterback. I just don't see how he's going to materialize in the NFL. There are certain players that when you watch them, I don't get it. I'm trying to think of the old quarterback from Houston who was just unbelievable athlete. His name is Escape. No, that's not him. I'm trying to think of the quarterback I'm thinking of. There are certain... Yes. Say it again. De'Ara King. You watched him in college for like 1 year. You're like, this kid is special. He just doesn't have the arm talent. He's not a good enough passer, in my personal opinion, to be able to take that next step. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that, though. Now, if you guys want to be able to interact with me, please, you can. Twitter, Instagram, at MitchellRents365. We do a lot of giveaways as well, and usually the way that we do those giveaways is through Venmo. We do 50-50 raffles. If you all just want to show your love and support for the show, hey, Venmo is always appreciated. We do have a free show for a reason, and all the money that you guys send in does go back to y'all to the Raiders Report. So, shout out to the nation. Please, don't be afraid. Interact with me on social media. All right, y'all. So, who is your dream trade target for the Raiders? The NFL trade deadline is over. It's done. Can't happen anymore. But was there a player that you're like, man, I would have loved for the Raiders to trade for him? Dream trade target. I asked this question earlier in the week.
Deron Payne for me.
I got a lot of wild answers. I was getting like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson type of answers, which I get it. I asked for dream. But, yeah, PG says buy Lamar. Ernie says Abby. I mean, it wasn't going to happen.
Peppers.
It wasn't going to happen. We know that. We know that. Oh, man. All right, y'all. Be realistic here. What do we got? We got Lamar. Lord Only Dan says Chugs.
I'm available. I'm actually a free agent.
Josh Allen from Raul, Deron Payne from Sammy, Roquan Smith from Zachary. Shamari said, let's go out and get Sue. Rogers for Carr from Ricardo. That's not going to happen. Oh, man. Interesting. Waller or the Water Boy. Got it. All right, Jeremy, this is what I want to do. I want to get into that super chat that just came in here from, who was it?
Let's get right into it.
I saw a super chat from
MFN Flores.
MFN Flores. It sucks we proved all the media haters right and Rich and the fans wrong. I've been so mad. I've been mad because I know that this team has talent. It just sucks when you got a head coach like McDaniels. It does. I mean, that's a hard pill to swallow, but that's the truth. McDaniels, to me, will never be able to win in the NFL because he's not a leader. He doesn't know how to deal with people. I mean, there are multiple NFL players out there that are like, he's a really smart guy. He's just a bad people person. And when you're a head coach of an NFL team, you need to have people skills. That's why I never wanted them, man. But we'll see what ends up happening. All right, so the next segment coming up here on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into a Derek Carr replacement video. And then, as Jeremy eats his M&Ms, that'll be the show. That'll be the live show. After that, it'll be a done deal. So, Jeremy, I'm going to make you guys a deal.
We're 300 away from the hot beer.
300 away from a hot beer. Yep. We're going to play a shot clock in the final segment here. So the final Derek Carr replacement video, every $10 super chat that comes in, we'll play shot clock for. If we get the 1,500,
it's a hot beer.
It'll be a hot beer. If not, it won't be.
That'll be a lot of shots, Mitch.
I know. We can do it. I believe in us. I believe in us. So here we go. We got 1,000 people tuned in right now. Also, Carly said, Chugs, F the cheating stros. I mean, I think it's okay to understand that they did cheat. However, that's a totally different team, and the Astros have been solid this year.
Even after the scandal, after we haven't been cheating, we've been to, 6 straight ALCSs, and we've been to 3 World Series, so
I will admit,
I don't know what to say.
They've been caught cheating already this postseason. They have, technically. I don't like the rule, but the fact that what's-his-name's using a bat by Albert Pujols, that's cheating.
Oh, my God.
It is cheating. It is. I don't.
It's cheating in the fact of, like,
it is.
Oh, this football player is using a glove that was not supposed to be used.
But it's against the rules. All I'm saying is
Albert Pujols is allowed to use it.
He is.
Only because he was in the league in 2010.
It's fathered in.
So that's so stupid.
But that's the rule. All I'm saying is that's the rule. Therefore, cheating.
Like, the Astros cheat like how you speed on the highway.
That's
you
fair.
speeding 75, you're technically cheating the system and not driving like you're supposed to be. Does that mean we should take away your license?
All I'm saying is
I don't think anybody has not sped on the highway before.
I only go underneath this.
Every single person that speeds, we should take away your license. No speeding in the car. Technically, it's a rule. So,
all I'm saying is the rule was made that you can't use the bat, and they were using an illegal bat. Therefore, that's cheating.
Everybody who is mad about the cheating, y'all are probably Yankees fans or Rangers fans or some fan of an organization that just can't win. So I'm sorry.
Hey, I mean, I'm a Mets fan. I'm on y'all's side. I want the Astros to win. I don't want the Phillies to win. But it is cheating. So, like, it is. But I don't know how much of a difference that actually makes. All right. We're going to get back into some Raiders content here. Derek Carr replacements coming up right now. If you guys haven't already hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so. We got a lot of videos coming out, literally videos every single day. So please hit that subscribe button right now. Coming up.
Y'all crazy.
Coming up next here on the show.
I can't with y'all.
We are going to get into some Derek Carr replacements. I always do videos on this channel. These are the channels that, I'm sorry, I get nervous about because I know how the nation is about DC. I don't want DC not to be the quarterback, but we have to face the facts. If Derek continues to play the way he is underneath Josh McDaniels' system, they're probably going to move on. So, Jeremy, you ready?
Let's go Stros.
You got to get out of that chat. All right, here we
Let's go Stros.
Derek Carr replacements coming up right
coldie.
now here on the Raiders Report. Do you want Derek Carr on the Raiders next year? Type Y for yes, or I want you to type N for no. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, we're going to look at some Derek Carr replacements. So just be ready for the show. It's going to be hot takey. Y for yes, N for no. Do you want Derek Carr on the Raiders next year? Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here, we're going to get into some Derek Carr replacements. I like Derek Carr. Let me just flat out say that right now. But we have to be able to face the facts. If DC continues to play as badly as what he's played in a Josh McDaniels system, and Mark Davis is already committed forward to Josh McDaniels, you have to be able to face the facts here and idolize that, hey, there's a chance that Derek's not going to be the quarterback this upcoming season. So you're going to get some trade candidates. You're going to get some free agency looks, draft picks overall. But Mark Davis flat out said McDaniels is our head coach, and he will be for years to come. You can cut Carr in 2023 and save $110.68 million. I have always said money talks. So the fact that DC has zero guaranteed money on his contract, this season is essentially a tryout. And if Davis is going to stick with McDaniels, if I'm McDaniels, I'm going to be like, wait a minute, I want to pick my own quarterback. That's why I wasn't able to win. Carr's career record is 59-75. DC is a good quarterback. He is. But he hasn't even been top 16 this season. We wanted to have debates about top 10 quarterbacks. When you look at the numbers that he has with the amount of talent that he has, he's been a bottom 16 quarterback. I'd probably rank him right now at about 18 or 19. Is some of the blame on McDaniels? Yes. Some of the blame on the offensive line? Yes. Does some of the blame deserve to go to other players, speed, Devontae Adams, Matt Collins, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller? Yes. But when you're paid the amount of money that Derek Carr has been paid throughout his career, he needs to elevate his game. And the only thing over the last 9 years that's been the constant has been DC. So if you're 2-5 and you continue to play that bad statistically and your team's losing, I'm sorry. It's time to move on from Derek Carr. So if you love the Raiders and you want more free videos around the silver and black, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. If the Raiders trade for a quarterback, we're going live. If the Raiders sign a quarterback, we're going live. If the Raiders draft a quarterback, we'll already be live. If the Raiders move on from DC, we will be live. So if you want to see my Derek Carr candidates here, replacements, hit that sub button. Let's go to the very first option here. And there's one player next season that I think is totally different. His name is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is scheduled to be a 2023 free agent. If the Baltimore Ravens are dumb enough to let this man hit free agency, if you're the Las Vegas Raiders, you got to do everything in your power to make sure that that guy dresses up in some silver and black and wears that shield on his helmet. I'm telling y'all right now, I would give Lamar Jackson $250 million fully guaranteed, making him not only the most guaranteed money, also the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And I think that's the starting price. Lamar Jackson, 63.9% completion percentage, 1,635 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. But what makes Lamar amazing is his ability to run. He is the most athletic quarterback in the NFL. I'm not saying he's the best. I will take Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes over Lamar, but he's the most athletic. 75 carries this season, 553 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 31 first downs picked up with his legs only. Lamar Jackson would make this Raiders team at worst right now 5-2. He makes them, I would make the argument, one of the best teams in the AFC. But I already said it. You're going to pay him a lot of money. When you look at the highest paid quarterbacks per year right now, Aaron Rodgers is at number 1 at $50.27 million per year. Highest paid quarterbacks in terms of guaranteed dollars. That belongs to Deshaun Watson at $230 million. I am going to look at every single one of y'all right now directly in the eyes and say that I would rather pay Lamar Jackson $250 million fully guaranteed. Hell, you can call him Lord Lamar Jackson. I'll tell you this, I am a Lord. It sounds weird to say it out loud. I'm a Lord. I am Lord Mitchell Renz. Why? Because I went to establishedtitles.com/chat. If you don't believe me, here's my plaque. I can literally put this on a driver's license, on a plane ticket. My legal name right now, Lord Mitchell Renz. And if you guys want to become a Lord, then listen the heck up. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global restoration efforts. It's a project based on historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Scotland and an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities on one tree planted and trees for the future to support global restoration efforts. You can officially include the title Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane ticket, dating profile, whatever makes you happy. It makes also as a great last-minute gift. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link that you guys can see down there below at establishedtitles.com/chat, you guys are going to be able to get right next to me. So, I'm trying to build a nation. I'm trying to build a Raider nation. And right now we got a special offer. Save an extra 10% on a perfect holiday gift at establishedtitles.com/chat. They also have a Black Friday sale going on, so if you click that link, you got like 60 minutes. You're going to get up to 80% off. It's a hell of a deal. It's also kind of a funny gift. I've had a lot of weird sponsors on this show. This is definitely up there. But imagine getting your dad, your wife, your son, your daughter, your dog, Lord Chuck. I like it. Lord Jeremy Chuggs. Let's make it happen. Let's keep on talking here about Lamar Jackson. If Jackson was available, I would. I would make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Fully guaranteed. Quarterbacks like Lamar that have MVP caliber, they don't hit the free agency market. They don't. And if they do, every single NFL team is going to be in a bidding war. So when I say $250 million guaranteed, your eyes and your ears should be like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. It is. But if Mark Davis is going to sit up here and tell me that, hey, no matter what, we're going to commit to Josh McDaniels, hey, I'm still want to just have these ludicrous ticket prices, he's got the money to spend. Go spend it on Lamar Jackson. Plus, you're saving an extra $110 million on Derek Carr. Use that money to go out and get Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to look at all y'all right now watching this video. If you rep silver and black, if you love the Las Vegas Raiders, if you want to see them win, hit that like button right now for Lamar Jackson in a Raiders jersey. I don't know if it can happen. I don't know if it is going to happen. But we also didn't think that Devontae Adams to the Raiders was going to happen. And if that can happen, Lamar Jackson hits free agency, you do everything in your power to make sure that that guy comes to Las Vegas. The next thing that you could do, yes, Lamar is technically going to be a free agent, and every person that you're about to see on this list is technically going to be a free agent in 2023. Lamar Jackson, though, different than all these guys. Now, the first name that you're going to see on this list is somebody that I know y'all don't like. It's Tom Brady. But the GOAT, he's not so much the GOAT anymore. He looks 45 years old playing in the NFL right now. But here are the top 2023 free agent quarterbacks that, if you didn't want to make a trade, you could potentially go out and sign. Baker Mayfield, wouldn't want him. Sam Darnold, wouldn't want him. Jimmy Garoppolo's intriguing. Teddy Bridgewater, Daniel Jones, Gardner Minshew, Tyler Huntley, Cooper Rush, Geno Smith. Those, to me, are your top 10 players that if McDaniels wanted to get an extra QB, those would be the guys I would look at. Now, obviously, you're going to look at Tom Brady. Why? Well, not only is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback of all time, yes, rooting for Tom would be tough after the Tuck rule. The quarterback that's been the best all time in Josh McDaniels' system is Brady. And maybe McDaniels and Ziegler are crazy enough to think, hey, if Brady wants to come play for the Raiders, where if you remember, Brady was going to go to the Raiders, but John Gruden turned that down for Derek Carr. That's already been confirmed. Why not make it happen this season? Or the other option in terms of free agency, and I will flat out say I believe Derek Carr is a more talented quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. To me, though, Jimmy Garoppolo is a better leader than DC. Jimmy also can play in that Josh McDaniels system. And part of it is if Derek is that bad in the system, what makes you think that they're not going to sit up there and say, hey, Ziegler, hey, McDaniels, why not go get a quarterback that we know can play well in our system? That's Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's go to the next thing that the Raiders could potentially do to try to replace Derek. You could trade for a quarterback. Now, there are certain quarterbacks that I did not include in this list because they're not available via trade. The 4 QBs that you're about to see are QBs that I think are available for a trade in the offseason. The first name, Mac Jones. The Patriots selected Mac Jones in the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft. Guess who's his OC? You guessed it. Yep, Josh McDaniels. Ryan Tannehill. They already drafted Malik Willis. I don't really like Tannehill, but he is an option at $27 million. Matt Corral. Y'all know I love Matt Corral coming out of Ole Miss. He's had a lot of injuries. Carolina seems like a shit show. P.J. Walker's playing well. Matt Corral, somebody to buy low on. And the other name up here is Justin Fields. When you got Champ Kelly, he's got a lot of connections with Chicago. Fields and the Bears, they just made a trade for Chase Claypool. If Chase Claypool doesn't materialize with Fields, maybe they think Fields is the problem. And then that regime decides to move on because they did not draft Fields. So if you can buy low on Justin, get a big-time trade value, those are the 4 quarterbacks that I would at least, say, hey, are they available? Now, before I get into my final names here for Derek Carr replacements in terms of draft picks, y'all can interact with me on social media. I am Matt Mitchell Renz 365 on Twitter, on Instagram, and when we do giveaways for our live shows every Thursday, every watch party on Sunday, we usually do it through Venmo, so don't be afraid to add me as a friend. You guessed it, Mitchell Renz 365. Let's go to the final way that you can replace Derek Carr. It's through the draft. If you know Lamar's not available, if you don't like any of the free agent quarterbacks, if you don't want to trade for anyone, you could always draft a QB. Now, there are 4 names, and only 4 names that I have really confidence in right now. Be frank with you, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, I believe both of these players go in the top 5. Probably go in the top 3. These are the only 2 quarterbacks right now that I would draft. Raiders right now, if the draft were to start today, number 6 overall, okay? So think about that for a second. I would love to get C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young at number 6. It's probably not going to happen. Raiders have to trade up. Hendon Hooker has a lot of talent. He's actually doing a lot. He's beat Alabama this season and doing a lot with much less talent than Stroud and Young have. However, he's 26 years old. A lot of quarterbacks in the NFL are like Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Joe Burrow, much younger. Hooker's how old? He's 24. He's going to be 25, though, I believe, at the end of the year. Will Levis, on the other hand, though, for Kentucky, he's got all the arm talent in the world. If I was his agent or if I knew somebody that knew Will Levis, I'd say, hey, go back to college football. Go back to Kentucky because I think he needs another year. So in terms of what quarterbacks am I going to draft, there's not many out there. Now, these are the only 4 QBs that I would have, or 3 quarterbacks I'd have confidence in playing right away. If you were to draft Will Levis, I would want him to learn behind Derek Carr on a cheaper contract. You bring back Derek, say, hey, I need you to take a pay cut. If Derek doesn't want to take a pay cut, then you better hope you get one of these 3 guys, because if not, none of those other quarterbacks I think are going to be better than DC right away, and that puts you in another tricky situation. So after seeing those top 4 QBs, who is your favorite quarterback draft prospect? I can't wait to see what you guys have to say down in the comments. All right, let's give some shout-outs here right now on the Raiders Report. We got Millen Woods, says Bryce Young. Got a Millen Woods again from Bryce Young. The GOAT. WWW. Will Levis, what's up with the Brady contract in the Bucs? He's a free agent after this offseason. A lot of Bryce Youngs, though, which doesn't surprise me. When I watch Bryce Young, he is cool, calm, and collected, which is what I love about him. That dude goes out there, and he competes. It's respectable. Let's go to some Super Chats here, Jeremy, and then I think it's time to get out of here, bro. PG2869, you and me both. This is what you put up or shut up year. DC failed so far. It was a put up or shut up year. DC has failed. For that, move on. Richard, what's the deal with Stetson Bennett? I don't want Stetson Bennett. He is on a very good college football team. He's a good college quarterback. I think that's a good comp. Like a Greg McElroy is a really good comp where he was good in college. Great for him. It's not going to materialize in the NFL. Anthony Morales, DC for sure taking pay cut. He knows the O-line is trash. I don't know if DC will take a pay cut. I know DC wanted to be paid a lot of money. I know a lot of people thought that DC would take a pay cut. He didn't. He wanted to get paid, so keep that in mind. Now, yes, he took 0 guarantees. He bet on himself, but he's betting on himself, and it's failing miserably, so we got to keep that in mind. One more Super Chat coming in here from DJ What? Are we tanking the year for a quarterback? I hope not. You don't tank a year coming off a season where you made the playoffs and a season where if you're a head coach and all you ever done is lose, you got to be able to win right away. And then Anthony Morales would not mind Knicks from Oregon. I got to watch Bo a little bit more. Very inconsistent, though. Very inconsistent player. All right, y'all, we are getting ready to send this video to Loop. So, Jeremy, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go take a pee. Go take a pee, and then I'm going to take a pee, and then if we don't hit 1,500 in supers, that'll be it. What? Oh, we can't do a loop. Okay, my bad. My bad. All right, y'all, so Jeremy's going to go take a pee. So the rules are simple. Every $10 Super Chat that comes in right now, Jeremy, he's got to take a shot. In the meantime, I'm here to just answer your questions. Millen says, Mitch, you're the only reason I've kept with the Raiders this year. I hope that's not true. I appreciate the fact that you like the show. I appreciate that you want to watch the Raiders report, but I still want you to get down with the Nation. The Nation's got a lot of really cool fans, a lot of other really cool content creators out there. Like I love what Graphic Raider does. I respect the hell out of Honcho. Wi-Fi, he does good, solid work over there. Sanjeet, I like what he brings to the table. Somebody like Wasted does a hell of a job. Hammerhouse is a really cool content creator. Like, there are other really, really good content creators out there that it's not just me. I'll say I think the Raiders fans have the best content creators out of any NFL fan base that there is out there, but we'll see. SG Sports Talk channel, shout out to you, bro. CJ Stroud from Ryan. Raider Rob says, great job mixing chugs. We appreciate that. We do. We put a lot of time, effort into these shows, and we know that y'all are very busy either watching at work or the other day somebody sent me a screenshot. They had a 6-hour drive. 6-hour drive, and the whole time, that's how they found our show. 6-hour drive, they just put the Raiders Report on for the entire watch party because that's how they could watch and listen to the game. That's cool to me. And I appreciate everyone who always tunes into the Raiders Report. So what we're waiting for right now is Jeremy Chugs to get back from the bathroom. Every $10 super chat that we get, Chugs got to do a shot. If not, then I'm going to go take a pee. And every $10 super chat, then I'll take a shot. And then if we don't get anything, we are unfortunately going to have to end the show there. We got to open up some studio time here for some of the guys that need to make some other videos. We've been lucky enough. We've been live we've been live now for, 3 hours and 15 minutes. There are a lot of people who haven't even had the opportunity to get on screen yet. So we got to give them the ability. That's what Chat Sports is about. MFN Flores 760, that's once for Chugs. Why was an intern head coach better than a hired? I think you mean interim. I think for that scenario, Bisaccia had the team's back. Like, that team, everything they went through last season between Gruden and the Ruggs situation, like, that was a close team. They were a family. And then you had Rich Bisaccia, who they called Papa Bisaccia because he took on that father role where he was like, you know what? I might not be the one calling plays, but I'm going to be that father figure. And a lot of times, like, that's what you need to do. So, MFM, Chugs, that's a shot for you. Once you get back up on screen, guys, we are 100 likes away from spinning that wheel again. Now it's going to be my turn to go take a pee because I got to go take a leak. Every $10 super chat that comes in, I'll do a shot for. But you owe one for MFN Flores Chuggy Bowl. When I come back, I'll do mine. And then if we don't got anything, hey, I appreciate every single one of y'all that tuned in for today's show. Yep, had a lot of fun today. It was a wild one. I'll be right back, though. Not a wild one 14, just a wild one. You ready?
Yep.
All right, y'all.
Woo! I'm back. Let's go Stros. I'm back. All right. And let me pull up a question for all of y'all while we wait for Mitch to come back. Thank you, Lord. All right. Who's your... Oh, I guess I don't have a shot glass. All right. Doing it Mitch style. Who is your dream target for today? Let me know. Who did you want the Raiders to get? Ernie, this one's for you. Woo. There we go. I agree, Michael. F. Brady. I'll be quarterback. I agree. PG, Lamar. They're not trading Lamar. You got to get him in free agency. David, Chugs do a backflip. I don't know. People are talking. Chugs backflip. I gotta talk to HR. He's in the restroom right now, but we'll see. Sergio said Clowney for his dream Raider trade target. That would have been interesting. Lamar is not leaving the Ravens. I don't know. They have to give him a contract. Carly S, take that trash jersey off. $50 super, I'll take it off. $50 super, I'll take off the best jersey in the MLB. But I'm not taking it off for free. I'm sorry. I gotta rep my team. Rodgers for Carr and Waller. He's only got a couple of years left. I don't know if you'd want to do that. Lamar, please. Myles Garrett, Chase Young. That'll be interesting. I don't know if Washington would be ready to move on from him. William, let's go. Go Stros. There we go. Let's go. SG Sports Talk, Bryce Young. Let me ask y'all this, because I've been seeing people spamming Bryce Young in the chat. Let me ask y'all this question. Let me ask y'all this. Would you trade up for Bryce Young? Because that's the only way you're going to get him. That's the only way you're going to get him. Would you trade up for Bryce Young? Y for yes and for no. Carly S., like I said, $50 super chat, I'll take it off, but it's the best jersey in the MLB, so I don't know if you want me to do that. No shots for Mitch. Got off lucky. But let me know, would you trade up for Bryce Young? Because that's the only way you're going to get him. You're going to have to trade your first-round pick, second-round pick probably, and maybe a future first for Bryce Young.
Definitely. No, you're right. I mean, that's part of it, so.
So if you're willing to do a trade-up for Bryce Young, that would be the only way. But looks like most people in the chat are saying yes, they would trade up.
I mean, you're going to give up a lot. I mean, if you're like the Raiders right now are at pick number 6, I'd say to get up to get Bryce Young.
You have to go to 1. To guarantee you get Bryce Young?
Yes.
You got to go
guarantee. That's at number 6. That's 2 first-rounders, probably 2 second-round picks. If you're willing to give that up to get Bryce Young, and even that, I don't know if that's enough. It's crazy, but that's how much draft picks are worth, which is why a lot of times I'm always like, I don't know if I want to give up that much or I'd rather trade for players because to me, players a lot of times are a lot more guaranteed than anything else. All right, y'all. I think we are ready to head out of here. Hell of a show today. Unfortunately, no trades made for the silver and black. I know we wanted to have something get done, but unfortunately, nothing did get done. So from Jeremy, Chugs, and I want to say I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the best fans in all of sports. We will be back for Thursday, which, Jeremy, what the hell's the Thursday night game?
Eagles-Texans.
Eagles-Texans. Now you said that, I do know. Eagles-Texans, Jeremy and we will be back for Thursday night football then. And then we're going to go live again on Sunday for the Raiders and Jags game. Y'all the real ones, spam RO4L down in the chat.
Stros in 5.
Spam RO4L down in the chat. I'm excited to watch that game tonight.
Should be a good one.
I'm hoping it's a good game.
The Phillies are good this year. They're one of those teams that got hot at the perfect time. So
it's also Carr-less, which now we know. Super chat coming in from Luis Rodriguez. Also, now I think about it, I forgot I have dinner tonight. Maybe we can watch the baseball game and eat dinner. We'll see.
Hey, Alex, you and your mom trying to go to Standard Poor?
Is that where y'all are going?
I think we're going to Notting Donkey, but I don't know.
She was there last night.
Notting?
No, Standard Poor.
Dude, have you been there?
Great spot.
Best chicken strips.
Oh, they got good drink deals.
Dude, $5 mojito or $5 Moscow Mules.
Yep. That's pretty good. Michael said, thanks, guys. Chugs, Mitch, you guys are awesome. I called in sick at work to watch this. I appreciate the F out of y'all.
Hell yeah.
That's probably one of the coolest matches
We
I've
appreciate y'all guys so much.
Oh, man.
Even Careless and all the guys who don't like the Astros.
Luis said if we don't get Bryce Young, who would we get? Your next option is C.J. Stroud or Hendon Hooker. Those are probably your next 2 options. In the draft, that is. But I think you probably know your quarterback situation before then. Another super chat coming in here from Victor says, if we trade Carr, does Adams go as well? I say no, and the reason why I say no is because if Devontae wants to make the majority of his money in his contract, he can't, demand a trade. I guess he can demand a trade, but he's not going to make nearly as much. So when he signed his 5-year, $140 million deal, he makes 80 of that in the final 2 years of his deal. So if he just is like, all right, I quit, I'm out, I don't know if another NFL team picks up that contract. The Raiders are taking that on. Now, they can get out of it after 3 years, but to me, Devontae's got to look at what Derek's doing right now and is like, man, we would be a lot better if Derek wasn't our quarterback right now. I think that's just reality. And if he wants to make his money, he needs to realize that he deserves a better quarterback right
Luis,
now.
are you saying which team would draft Bryce Young? Is that what you asked?
I don't know. I mean, I think Bryce Young goes number 1 overall.
Yeah. Whoever has number 1, probably the Lions, to be honest.
Yeah.
The Lions or the Texans are the 2 teams that you're going to have to trade with. Which, interesting, I think I was telling Mitch the other day.
Yeah, that's what he's asking.
If the Texans get the number 1 pick, they might get Will Anderson. They're the last 2 times the Texans have had the number 1 pick overall. Both times they've gotten a defensive end.
Will Anderson's like the most complete edge rusher I've seen since like
Mario Williams,
Von Miller.
Jadeveon Clowney, the last 2 first overall picks by the Texans.
We'll see. We will see.
I really think they go Will Anderson if the Texans get number 1 overall. Even though they need a quarterback, I think they might go Will Anderson, fail for another year, and go for Caleb Williams. That's what I think.
Interesting.
I don't know. That's just me talking.
All right, y'all. From Jeremy Chugs and I, we appreciate you. Let us know who you got tonight, Stros or Phillies. I'm a Mets fan, so I want the Stros to win. I can't deal with the Phillies win.
Let's go.
Though I wish both teams could lose. I'm not gonna lie.
Carless.
All right, y'all. Heading out. Cheers to y'all. Michael, Raider Rob, Carlos, diehard Raider fan, real one for life. David Reyes, William Sands.
Carlos is having a full-on Breaking Bad moment. He said, "Say my name."
Say my name. Lil Chains, Gary, peace out from Jeremy Chugs. Much love to all y'all. We'll be back on Thursday for Eagles Texans on Thursday Night Football.